Well, good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods 97.3, The Fan. Hopefully everybody's okay. You're up, you're breathing. The sun will rise today. That I promise you. Obviously a tough one, but a show that we're getting used to, which I never wanted that to be the case. The morning after. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Rindle, executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning. It doesn't feel like a Friday.
No,
today.
it does not feel like a Friday. This is a beautiful tweet I saw last night. I wanted to start the show with this, and it really, really makes sense. From Rich Roberts on Twitter. It says, baseball is such a cruel sport. It's a companion every day for 6 months. A slow-moving train of emotional investment that never leaves your consciousness because of its daily cadence. It's what makes the losing streaks harder, the winning better, and then it's just over. It ends. 3 games. 3 extra games is what your San Diego Padres gave you this season after a 162-game slog that everybody got through. A slog which saw them win 90 games and lose 72 games. I mean, it was not my favorite year of Padres baseball to cover, but it certainly was not uninteresting. And, you know, we'll talk about yesterday's game, certainly. Obviously, a lot to talk about. But I just kind of wanted to get everybody's temperature. I mean, you feel terrible. You feel terrible. When it ends and it's over, it's just so sudden when it happens. When that last out is recorded and you stare at the TV and you're like, this can't be it. I got to see these guys tomorrow. Because despite all of their shortcomings, despite all of the failure that you saw, they're still your guys. You know, it's still your team. And listen, we all get emotional. I get less emotional now than I used to, and I'm actually very happy about that. I handled it pretty well yesterday, really. I mean, as last year almost put me in the grave. It almost killed me. It almost killed me. That was the hardest thing I've ever experienced as a sports fan against the Dodgers, the 24 scoreless. And it's not close. It was terrible. And this, I was like, that sucks, man. That just sucks. And they're still our guys, but man, they got some work to do. How did you guys take the loss?
So I never felt like this team had it. I never felt like they were going, like they should win the World Series or get to the World Series.
Felt it last year, didn't you?
Felt it last year. Felt it a lot last year.
Real good.
Throughout the regular season
good.
and definitely heading into the postseason, you felt it. I never felt that this year. And they had, record-wise, they got into the dance. They had a good season in that regard. But I'm certainly disappointed. I don't think that you can say that this was a successful season.
No.
I never felt like they had it. Of course, once the playoffs start, you get that
anybody's ball game
glimmer of hope. But I think that there are some serious issues that need to be addressed.
I think we could have gotten through Milwaukee. I do. Think we could have gotten through Milwaukee.
Said it plenty of times last week. I said I don't know why. I can't really explain it.
I feel
like if the Padres can beat the Cubs, I see a path, like maybe even to the World Series, if the Dodgers and Phillies could just beat the hell out of each other, because I wasn't super concerned about Milwaukee. I just don't know if they can beat the Cubs or not.
Juan says this game has retired me as a fan. Juan, it's not. It hasn't. Just you got to let it percolate for a bit, right? But did I see and receive some texts yesterday with some emotion, very emotional reaction, very. And if a lot of people, Ben, had their way, Fernando Tatis Jr. is a Met, Manny Machado is a Yankee, Jake Cronenworth is on the moon, Yu Darvish is sitting on the side of the road. I mean, look, I get it. Emotions, my emotions were pretty high too yesterday. And yes, there needs to be some changes. And it's got to start, I think we'll talk about where it needs to start.
And that may be a conversation that we're going to have over the next 3 months. Not today, though. I'm really disappointed in how the season ended. More than I thought I would be. Maybe not quite as disappointed as last year. I remember sitting on the curb, the ants crawling on me outside of Dodger Stadium last year as the season came to an end at like 11 p.m. doing television.
It's a sad sight.
Yeah, it was bad. I was trying to edit on my laptop, and there was nowhere to sit. So I sat on a curb. And after about 3 minutes, I realized, I sat in a trail of ants, and they're crawling all over me. And it was a really,
Did
really
he tell us this last year? I don't
bad
know.
way. Yeah,
I don't remember that.
It's a really bad way for the whole season to end. So disappointing when they had a lead. They were on the last year. They were on the precipice. You never felt they were on the precipice of going forward in this series after losing game 1. Game 2 was exciting, but they never really put themselves in position to win yesterday until the 9th inning. So I didn't have the feeling that something was taken away from me like it was last year.
Yeah, last year felt ripped from me.
That being said, they easily could have won that series.
And should have won that series.
They should have won that series. And I wouldn't be stunned if the Cubs go on and beat the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
And I don't know what will happen if they face the Phillies or the Dodgers in the NLCS.
Yeah, you do.
I think I don't think the Cubs have enough, but probably the Padres didn't have enough either ultimately this year. But we'll never get a chance to find out, both because of the Padres play, and I'm sure, and we will talk about it, and I am mad about it too. The call in the 9th inning against Xander Bogaerts, just an unacceptable missed call by home plate umpire DJ Rayburn. One of the many, many stories from yesterday that we'll be discussing today.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It was a very tough call. I tweeted it. I stand by it, though. Don't let that missed call distract you from really a really subpar offensive performance all year long. And the other part is, and I know, I look, to be completely transparent, I got annoyed about May and June with people like, oh, we need to change this and this needs to change and move him out of the 2. And then it really started to hit home. And let me tell some of those doomers, I think you're absolutely right. The stubbornness of the management of this team was really our downfall. It really was our downfall. And it's not close. I don't care what worked in Johnson City. This isn't Johnson City. It's not. Ben, I threw a 2-hit shutout one Sunday afternoon at Hoover High School against the Bones. Does anybody give a baker's F about what happened at Hoover High School on a Sunday 10 years ago? No, they don't. You had every opportunity. You had different personnel brought in, and you stuck with massaging egos and keeping people happy, and it just torpedoed you. It torpedoed you. And there was no ability to be malleable. There was no ability to adjust. And all we did was we just kept banging our head against the same door over and over. Here's these numbers. 27th, 29th, 28th runs scored, 27th in productivity. Hey, this worked. This worked for me 10 years ago in the minors. I'm going to stick with it. I understand consistency, and I don't want a manager that jiggles the lineup every day. But I think 4 to 5 months is a decent enough sample size, right? I do. I think it's a decent enough sample size to say we got to make a change. And I'm not saying that there was some magical bean that they could have taken, but holy cow, man. How much evidence did you need? He was a 3-time batting champion. He's not this year. He's not. The guy was 79th in OBP this year. He was, 5th in hits. Well, great. 79th in OBP despite 181 hits. And there were just so many rallies killed. The identity of this team was really, really set back in the dead ball era. It really was. And again, when you got sluggers on your team that are like, yeah, we don't slug anymore. It's a recipe for disaster. Is it not?
I want to be careful with what I say, because what you just said was a really well-articulated take on the San Diego Padres. And I don't think you're wrong that ultimately it was stubbornness that may have led to the downfall of this team. And I agree with you that if the Padres find a way to score 3 runs in that 9th inning, you're probably lauding the consistency.
I'm not.
The steadfastness. No. And I don't know if you should.
I'm probably like, man, we dodged the effing bullet
a lot of time that's an important, especially in a baseball season, being steadfast is a tough thing to do, and managers need to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
Even when fans are screaming for changes and they have to stand up to fans and others in the media who are saying, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. And A good manager will sometimes say, no, I don't. You've got to trust the process. You've got to trust your players. And Mike Shildt did that all year. But in this series, and baseball is so weird because every team has weaknesses, and the Padres certainly did. Sometimes, though, in the playoffs, those weaknesses don't come into play. Sometimes weaknesses turn into strengths over 2 weeks in the playoffs. It's weird. But in this particular series, every weakness that we talked about last week or earlier this week going in is what came back to haunt the San Diego Padres. Is it not? The left-handed lane that we talked about at the end of the lineup, the inability of stars to come through, the inability to slug enough in the lineup, the inability to get enough depth from your starting pitching. Everything we talked about as being potential reasons why the Padres couldn't go deep into the playoffs are exactly what undid the Padres in this series.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And did the Padres do anything about that to try to change that?
No, they didn't.
They just did the same things that they did all season long that established in our minds what their weaknesses are. Now, were their hands tied a little bit?
Sure.
The injury to Ramon Laureano.
It's brutal.
They tried to address it they needed a big right-handed bat to break up that lane. AJ Preller went out and got the perfect bat to break up his left-handed lane late in the lineup. A guy who came through at the end of the season, led the team in OPS, had the kind of dog mentality you want in the playoffs. Ramon Laureano was the perfect acquisition, and he got hit by a pitch in the hand and never got to play in the playoffs. That's just bad luck.
It's cruelty.
That AJ Preller and Mike Shildt can't do really anything about. And they were left with some bad choices after Ramon Laureano was gone. They were left with bad choices. Either you leave in your lefty lane or you bring in guys that, quite frankly, aren't as good. Like, more at-bats for Jose Iglesias, or do we want to see more Bryce Johnson, or God forbid Luis Camposano gets in at bat? Those aren't great choices, but they went with the steadfast consistency, or in your word, stubbornness, that ultimately did lead to their elimination from the playoffs.
And listen, don't get it twisted. This isn't about 3 games in Chicago putting it on Luis Arraez, because if I'm putting it on guys, I put it on Fernando Tatis Jr., I put it on Luis Arraez, I put it on Manny Machado. Oh, you lost Laureano. If only we had, I don't know, somewhere around the neighborhood of $60 million in right-handers.
$800 million total.
That could do something to step up in somebody's absence. I mean, we've seen playoff teams get injured
Xander
before.
stepped up.
He did.
I think Xander stepped up. I was very pleased with what Xander did.
He did. He absolutely did. He was fantastic, man.
The three of us, fans, all over the place, we were all very, very critical, and I think rightly so, of Xander. He was in a multi-year slump after signing that big contract. Showed me something this year.
No question.
He really did.
I mean,
I was impressed this season.
I'm super bummed for Cron. Cron disappeared this series. Yep. He got some righties yesterday. He did, wasn't able to handle it, man. But Jake Cronenworth hits 8. Jake Cronenworth makes $11 million a year. I need the guys that make 30 to come through, and they didn't. I mean, honestly, like, Manny was horrible, and it breaks my heart. Guys, that's my guy. Fernando, the worst series I've ever seen. I couldn't believe.
Game 2, he did some good things, scored a couple of runs, but games
made a great catch.
Games 1 and 3 were
Toddy, Manny,
just not good enough.
Those 3 combined 4 for 33 in the series.
Merrill started stepping up. He's going to be such a good player.
He is, man. He is, and it's just again, it's the I can't beat this dead horse again, but it's just the small ball clown mentality, the scared money, don't make money philosophy. And you can say it all you want. No. This is winning baseball. It's clearly not. And it's not productive baseball.
And
it hasn't
proof
been.
Is there.
It's right. It's not an opinion.
We said it when this identity really started to develop. I want to probably call it May, June, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay.
You're like, I think there's been enough games now. Like, this is the team, like it or hate it. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And we said, and not just us, Eno Saris, every baseball analyst out there said, only one team has ever really won the World Series with the small ball, the lack of power. It was the Royals.
And I'll tell you,
we said, all right, if you're going to do it, you better be the best team to ever do this philosophy.
I'll tell you, I have the answer. Nobody wants to hear it, but I know exactly what these guys need to do. They don't need to spend their offseason at drive line. They don't need to spend their offseason in the cages or in the gym. They need to go sit in a room with call it a mental skills coach, and find out when October comes, do we disappear for these long stretches at a time? Why can't we get over the hump? And actually, this year more indicative, Benny, of the entire year, right? This is more indicative that their postseason performance this year was just like they played in the regular season. Really, it wasn't much different.
Well, separated out. Bullpen's certainly not part of that.
Bullpen was elite.
Bullpen stepped up.
Oh, I'm talking about the hitters. I'm talking about the hitters.
Okay.
One big group session of like, hey, what happens to me when the lights get the brightest? Can I rise to it? Because you see it in baseball, and there's been better players with longer Hall of Fame careers that have had worse postseason numbers than Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., who had been really good in the postseason until this one. But there's just something amiss. There's something amiss about this. I didn't like the reactions of the guys last night. I understand it's right after the game. It's a bummer. I thought Manny, I didn't like his comments to our pal Jake Garignani at all. I understand he's frustrated. I know these guys want to bring a championship here. I know they do. I have no doubt about it. I don't see quitting, and I don't see laziness. But
I agree. I mean, those guys do care. They want to win.
But what is
it's not a want to. It's an execution. It's an October block that they have to get over.
And again, man, it is time. It's beating a dead horse. It's time to get back to being yourselves. And really, like Jackson Merrill, it's such a perfect microcosm of the whole series. When he drops that bunt down from the cleanup spot in the third inning, that was the problem with the San Diego Padres mentality this entire year.
Jackson should never, than maybe drop one down for a base
hit when the third baseman's playing shortstop.
2 or 3 months.
100%.
Jackson should never bunt again in his career until maybe he's old and gray and he's 38. Jackson Merrill, you should be done with sacrifice bunting in your career. You're too good to sacrifice bunt.
Yeah.
Nobody out, runners first and second in the 9th inning, tie game in the playoffs. No. I'm fine with it then.
I'm
fine with it.
Jackson Merrill?
I'm not giving him a run.
Who's behind in the order?
Who's behind Merrill?
I'm talking, years down the road. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Never. And again, it's just indicative of who this team, what this team's mentality was. Is no, I want to give myself up. That's good. They're so precious, especially at that. Look, bro, if it's the Little League World Series, or if it's the Adult Ball Championships, or it's the College World Series, fine. They're kids. They're going to throw it away. They're going to bobble it. These are pros. They don't make those mistakes
and the
enough.
Didn't make mistakes in the series.
No,
it wasn't mistakes.
We had so many opportunities. We'll go
through the numbers, but the opportunities were there. The Padres didn't throw away.
Should have won that series.
Padres didn't throw away a single run. Cubs didn't throw away a single run. It was a well-played series on both sides. It was by far of the 4 wildcard series. We talked about it yesterday. It continued today. There were sloppy play in every other series. Every other team made a bunch of mistakes. Even the Dodgers made a bunch of mistakes. Padres and Cubs did not make any mistakes. Neither team hit well.
I think that's probably
neither the Padres nor the Cubs hit well in this series, but otherwise they both played excellent baseball over the last 3 days.
I do wonder if that's because I'm pretty content just with everything this morning, more than I thought I would be when I woke up.
You're resigned to it.
Yeah. And I think part of it is for everything that Ben just said. That was a very well played series. You're going to lose well played series every once in a while. It always sucks. Yep. It never feels good, but it's not like they were booting the ball. They blew a huge, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was a well played series. That makes it anything can happen in the playoffs.
But you can't also, and I can hear Mike Schilt's voice in my head because it is Friar Friday, but I don't believe we're going to be talking to the skipper today. I don't know what their travel schedule is or the next time we'll have a chance. I can hear him going like, hey, that's the kind of baseball we want to play. We just didn't hit when we needed to hit. That's baseball. Hitting is the hardest thing in baseball to do. But you can't just dismiss this. This isn't a regular season series in July. yeah, you need to keep playing good baseball like you did, but you have to also take stock and evaluate why it is that you didn't go forward. This is a playoff series, and you need to figure out how you can come through the next time. It can't simply be random chance. Oh, well, we got to the playoffs again, and guess luck wasn't on our side again this year. No, tell me what you're going to do differently next time you get to October. Just tell me. What are you going to do if you're lucky enough to get there next October?
They told us in spring training this year because of what happened last year and how that won't happen again. And it did.
I hate it.
We asked every single player that came to the table at spring training in Peoria.
That was there.
We just said, hey, I know we don't want to spend too much time on this. You guys already did, but, we haven't talked to you in 4 months. Let's go back to October. Like, what was that like? Oh, hey, that was unacceptable. Never going to let that happen again. Until October 2025.
All right, we'll set the menu for the Friday edition of Ben and Woods.
Should be a fun one.
Yeah, we got a lot to get to through this game. We'll let you know what's coming up after our first check of traffic with Kelly Danick here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Jack in the Box. Nice, quiet start to our Friday morning. Your full blast out of the South Bay, the bridge in decent shape, heading over to Coronado. East County ride hasn't really kicked in just yet. Yeah, anyone out there already feels like you get the roads all to yourself? We still encourage you to please keep your speeds down. Be extra alert. Your hunt for the perfect breakfast sandwich is over. Jack in the Box's sourdough scramblers, starting at $3.49, come with toasted sourdough, scrambled eggs, melty cheese, and your choice of hickory smoked bacon or grilled sausage. Then does you one better by being available all day. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, coming up in the next 3 hours and 38 minutes, we will start with our Padres Wrap-Up, the last one of the season, unfortunately, and we will go inning by inning through yesterday's heartbreaking disappointment, 3-1 loss to the Chicago Cubs. Of course, we will get to the drama in the 9th inning, the bad call by DJ Rayburn, the tightrope that the Padres bullpen walked through in essentially 3 hours to keep that, keep it close enough that they actually had a chance.
It was unbelievable
at the end of that game. Miraculously, that they had a chance to win that game in the 9th inning, but it did not play out that way. We will go through all the highlights coming up in our next hour. Coming up at 7:35, we will not only break down the Padres season, but we will also look ahead to SDFC. We do have another team in town that is gearing up for a playoff run. Are you ready for another whole round of disappointment, San Diego? Because we got to go through this for our soccer team now in a couple of weeks. They're getting right down to the regular season end. Darren Smith.
My guess is we'll probably talk a little more baseball with Darren Smith than
so
SDFC
too,
today, is my guess.
They do have a game tomorrow, and he is with SDFC. So we'll do both when he joins us.
I think Darren's expecting to join the funeral.
Yeah, and I want to make sure we give a good chunk of time to Darren. So we'll make sure that Darren gets a chance to say his piece on our David P. Shapiro fan hotline. Facing criminal charges, trust David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping clients regain control since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. And then in the second half of the program, I don't know, will we open up the phone lines at some point? I think this is a therapy day.
This is what it's here for.
Yeah, we'll hear from some tier ones. You were amazing this week, by the way. Tier ones, you came through.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I was like, thanks very much.
You were also amazing.
Thank you. Great week.
Thank you.
How was Park 101 again?
I mean, the vibe was certainly a little different.
Yeah.
No one could breathe. No one breathed. And we're, trying to get up for pitches. And honestly, the Darvish was so bad in that. And it was just not a pleasant experience. I left in about the 5th and had to go home and, we had to meet the kids and there was football practice and all that. But
you sent the text yesterday that made me laugh the hardest than anything else I've seen yesterday about Taylor. What did Taylor do in the middle of the game?
Oh, what was it? Maybe the 7th.
Yeah,
tease it.
Oh
my God,
we'll tell you
losing it.
What's his youngest Taylor did?
Unbelievable.
only in the Woods
only in
family.
my house.
Only in the Woods family. We'll get to that coming up next. We'll have regular features as well. Little DDT. We got Take on Woods, a round report, a sexy Saturday.
Maybe
Fish college football schedule. We'll see how the second half of the program is going today.
Yeah, let's not be normal today. This is not a normal day.
It's not totally a normal day.
We can be.
Hey,
let's not be stubborn And
Be
let's be
flexible.
able to be flexible,
flexible
today. Yes.
All right, we will get started with the Padres Wrap-Up, though. Coming up next with Ben and Woods Tier 1s. We're here for you. I hope you're here for us because we need it just
we need
as
you
much
too.
as you need us this morning, I think, on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Oh, Taylor.
Guy almost killed me yesterday. Yeah, he really did.
I
really
lost
did.
it when you sent this.
Yeah, we went to Hannah and I went to Park 101, and it was awesome, man. They were great. Had that same area.
Nice, relaxing date night?
Yeah, totally. Just everyone chewing their nails. And yeah, man, it just goes to show you how dumb superstitions are. I wore the same thing. I ordered the same thing. It doesn't matter. I'm not kidding. It just doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. It doesn't mean anything. It's not your fault if the Padres lose.
Correct.
It's their fault. And I learned my lesson again, as I always do with stupid superstitions. It didn't work. So we went and we're watching, and yeah, man, you're on pins and needles. You Darvish all over the place. He's hitting guys, and no one could breathe. It was just silent. So
awful.
In about the fifth, we had to get home and meet the kids. We had a sitter pick them up, and then Bo had practice. And I told Hannah, I go, I can't go to practice. I'm going to watch the game. She goes, all right, watch Taylor. I said, no problem. So Taylor's on the couch. He's watching a movie. I'm in my room watching the game. And Manny is coming up in I believe it was the 7th inning. And all of a sudden, my screen just goes black in my room. And it says, your cable box, Cox, your Cox needs to be reset. Like, what? No, not again. Come on. How is my Cox failing me now?
Your Cox broke again.
My Cox broke again. Well, turns out. So I walk into the living room, and there's my son sitting on the couch with the remote in his hand, and he's looking at me weirdly. And I go, what did you do? And he goes, I don't know. I just pressed these buttons. And I'm like, you turn the cable box off. It's all like you reset it. And he goes, I don't know. I was trying to watch something. I was like, okay. So I had to do the full unplug, 30-second wait, replug them.
Reboot.
Hello, bienvenidos, blah, blah, blah. Like you have to wait for all the things to come through. And then I go into the next room, and it took, I text you guys, go, what did Manny do? It was like ground out to Dansby Swanson.
Of course, he grounded out to Dansby Swanson like everybody else did.
Dansby Swanson, I tip my hat to you, sir. We win that series going away without Dansby Swanson. There's no question. But again, they made plays when they needed to, and I give them a lot of credit. I give the Cubs a tremendous amount of credit. I do. They played a really good series. They bent. Boy, did they bend in the 9th yesterday. They did not break. And I give them a lot of credit.
The irony is they actually underperformed offensively much more than the Padres did. They were a really good offensive team that didn't do almost anything offensively in the series.
What did they slug, though?
Same as the Padres, essentially. They had 4 doubles and 3 homers. Padres had 4 doubles and 2 homers.
Yep.
I mean, they were 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position in the series. They had a pathetic offensive series, especially for them. One of the best lineups in baseball could do nothing against the Padres pitching staff. And, a lot of the hits they got, especially yesterday, were absolute BABIP luck shots. I mean, they had at least
so many bleeders.
At least 5 or 6.
So many bleeders.
Bleeders, bloopers, dunkers, and the Padres worked their way around almost all of them to keep that a game. The Cubs did not have a good offensive series. Padres pitching, really, with almost no exceptions, stepped up massively over the last 3 days.
I can't say enough good things about the work that Ruben did with this staff. And again, if you really try to everyone breathe out all of your negativity and emotion right now for just 1 second, and you look back and you think about how we got to 90 wins this season. And you think about, I give it literally 75% to the pitching staff, at least 75%, because there were so many uncertainties in this rotation. And when Dylan sees, I'm telling you, last night after the game, I put the Yankees Red Sox on, and I watched this rookie, Cam Schlittler, go out and throw 8 innings. He struck out 12 Red Sox in an elimination game.
Rookie.
And here I am the day before going, yay, Dylan, great job, 3 2/3, excellent work, buddy. I'm disgusted with myself.
But that was the right performance for the Padres with that bullpen. The Yankees don't have a bullpen.
I understand.
To come in.
I understand. But again, think of how did we get to 90 wins? It's because we overcame a horrible Dylan. He's a guy that did take the ball every 5 days, certainly, and chewed up a lot of innings. We overcame 40, we got 40 something innings from Michael King, 70, something like that.
70
70 innings from Michael King. you Darvish, spotty as all get out. How did we get there? It's because of the pitching staff and the bullpen deciding, put it on us. We'll take it. And they did all season long. And I'm so proud of those guys. So proud of those guys. Those guys were dogs, and they were dogs again yesterday. And, it's just such a shame we couldn't pick those guys up and get to the next series. It really was. They were spectacular. Ruben, his whole staff, getting those guys to, and again, Ruben could not fix Dylan Cease. He could not fix him. He was the unfixable project this year. But the other guys down in that bullpen,
better at the end.
He did get better at the end.
There was some improvement.
There was a little bit of improvement, but holy cow, man, we are not where we are. We were not even in that series without the pitching staff this year. They were spectacular. Spectacular.
All right, let's go through it. We'll start at the beginning, take you all the way through the game, however long it takes here. Our Padres Wrap-Up coming up right after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Starting to heat up on the roads just a bit, guys. Getting reports of crash on southbound 5 near Main and Division. Looks like that might be in middle lanes. Another vehicle over to the right shoulder. Trip out of the South Bay continues to be a pretty quiet one. Just a few brake lights taking you through National City. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station. 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame if they lose.
You got a problem.
Oh, a shame indeed.
I couldn't agree more.
Here are the lowlights from yesterday's game.
What the heck happened?
Are you kidding me?
Can't even believe it.
It's the Padres
Wrap-Up.
presented by Hamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place.
We'll give it 16 minutes of salt, and then we'll, get back on the pump and figure it out.
1-0. Here's the pitch. Crow Armstrong swings, lines it into center field. Merrill charging in and can't get there. Drops in front of him with base hit. All three runners had to wait and see, so only one will score. RBI single for Pete Crow Armstrong, his first career postseason hit. Cubs take a 1-0 lead. They've still got the bases loaded. There's still nobody out, and now Dansby Swanson will stand in. 2-2, sent in the air to right field and deep. Fernando's back it up. He's at the wall, looking. It's going to go. Michael Busch's third hit of the day is a solo homer here in the 7th inning. And the Cub lead is now 3-0. 1-1 the pitch. Merrill swings, sends it in the air to right field and deep. Suzuki's backing up. He's on the track, still going back at the wall. This one gonna go into the basket for Jackson Merrill. Padres finally on the board as Merrill hits a leadoff home run here in the 9th inning. And don't go anywhere just yet. 3-1 Cubs. Kittredge will deal. And Fermin swings, sends it in the air to center field. Routine for Pete Crow Armstrong. Backpedaling, he's got room. He makes the catch, and the Cubs have won this National League wild card 2-1 as the Padres 2025 season comes to a close with a 9th inning rally that fell just short.
Yeah, it was a good series. Hard fought. Tight, a lot of big moments. Basically didn't get it done. As a wrap-up point. There's a lot of hurt guys in that clubhouse. But we laid it out on the field, and there's no regrets on anybody's part. Just disappointing.
I've got no regrets.
You don't have one or two, just like
Nothing's going to keep you keep you up.
It's normal to have a regret or two. We all have regrets in life, and you're okay, Mike, if you regret one or two decisions. It'd be weird if you didn't regret something. Wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
All right, let's start at the beginning. Padres,
Let me ask you a very broad, pointed question. Do they hate losing enough? Do they hate it enough? As a team, as an organization, as the superstars, do they hate losing enough?
I don't know that that's Manny's DNA for sure. What makes him Manny is his ability
to stay
set aside kind of the consequences and just go out and do his job.
I hate losing. I hate it. I hate losing more than I even want to win. There's a difference.
It's not necessarily what makes you successful is hating losing. That A's team, Billy Beane hated losing. They didn't win. It's hating losing doesn't guarantee winning, unfortunately. That was all it
I
took.
think
Everyone would just hate. It doesn't, though.
I think it does.
There's a lot of teams that hate. A lot of professional athletes hate losing more than they love winning. I think that's
well. Listen,
but only one team wins in the end.
A lot of times, those are the guys that are surrounded by mediocrity, and the A's had some really good players, certainly, and they won well above their heads. I mean, they won, and it obviously, and like he says in that movie and in the book. If you don't win the last game, nobody cares, right? And and
they got eliminated in the first round.
Yeah,
just like the Padres
exactly.
did this year.
Exactly. But teams that play over their heads because they hate losing so much. But again, I just don't know. Like, it's such a game of consistency, and you do have to be remarkably consistent, and you can't fluctuate hot and cold. You just can't. You can't get through a 162 game season like that. But you do hear. There's teams that you look at, Benny, and you're like, man, that guy got paid. I don't think our guys cruise or anything like that. But like, do they hate losing? Are they obsessed with winning a World Series? Because I'll tell you, I think the biggest disappointment for me of all of it, and I told my missus this last night, I said, the thing that makes me the most sad is that the Friar Faithful sold Petco Park out a stunning 72 times this season. 72 times. In this god-awful economy, they sold it out 72 times, and they don't get one home playoff game. Not one home playoff game. That is criminal. It's criminal. And you fumbled it down the stretch. The Dodgers were handing it to you. And they don't get one single home playoff game, dude. And for those players, like, you guys didn't get one home playoff game for 72.
And you can say that's because they lost yesterday.
No, it's because they lost.
Then they would have gotten a home playoff game if they had won yesterday, at least one. But it's because of August and early September.
And all of September.
100%. And all of September.
That they didn't get a home playoff.
I mean, look,
who wouldn't have liked a home series against the Reds this week?
Oh my God.
You had it.
You had it.
You had it.
You had it, man. You did.
It's very true. When they look back and they, I think part of their calculus was, let's save something in the tank for October. There was definitely, it was written about, it was talked about.
Philosophical
Throttled
decision.
back a little bit, and it cost them some games probably in August and September that cost them a home playoff series. But now what you had, all right, you have something left in the tank for a nice long October run.
You didn't. You played 3 games.
But now what are you going to do with that? You still got half a tank of gas left, and there's no season left to play. Maybe you should have decided, especially for this team and this city, that a home playoff game was worth expending a little more energy during the regular season to get there.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
It really is. It's that's the thing that bums me out the most is again 72 times they sold out Petco Park.
Now,
just incredible.
Now,
incredible.
if they had gone 100 miles an hour all the way through, and then gotten to the first playoff series exhausted, beaten up, and lost, that's also a bad strategy.
But then you question. I didn't think they needed to go crazy. Like, you don't throw Mason Miller 3 days. There's a way to do it in a way not to do it.
That's the thing. How do you balance it the right way to win enough where you can put yourself in the right position without irresponsibly emptying your tank in the regular season?
And I do think ultimately depth, the lack of depth hurt us a lot this year. And it happens. I mean, AJ was under some constraints. He did the best he could, in my opinion, of getting close to championship caliber lineup ready. Obviously, Laureano getting hurt was a huge blow, but that's when guys have to step up. It's not football where it's like Tom Brady broke his leg. We're dead. It's like, hey, one guy's out of the lineup. Somebody needs to step up. But, the other thing I found fascinating, Benny, is that here we went again into a playoff series and with a kind of a disagreement in player personnel for the guys on the roster. In a playoff series, again, this is happening almost every year with, well, AJ wanted him and I didn't want him, so I'm not going to play him. And again, Luis Camposano, who knows? I'm not in here riding for Luis Camposano to get meaningful ABs. But again, there's a roster spot right there that there was a disagreement about.
But there's no one else to give that roster spot to. I mean, would Will Wagner have been the difference maker in this series?
But again, it's
you didn't want Luis Campusano or Maldonado to get an at bat, and Fermin was fine.
I
all
saw
3 games. He was better than fine.
I saw an opportunity for Campy to come in and swing it yesterday.
Well, you could have made that choice.
Yeah.
You could have made that choice.
But again, they just said,
and AJ gave Mike Schilt at least that opportunity. If he wanted to do it, he was there.
Yeah,
I don't think that AJ made a mistake in putting Campy on the roster for the postseason.
No, but again, when the skipper comes out and he's like, it's an AJ decision, it's not my decision. Again, you're not on the same page. Again, in the postseason, this is Alfaro all over again. And Austin Nola out there catching every inning.
It might have been an issue had they gone on and Fermin had to catch every single game for a month.
Yeah,
it could have ended up being an issue. It wasn't the issue in this series, though. Yeah. Fermin played great.
He did. He was awesome. Fermin played 400 or something almost, and was piping guys at
runners
second.
all over the place, blocking balls.
It's just
Freddie Fermin had a really good first playoff series of his career.
Again, it goes back to depth. Depth kind of killed us this year a little bit. And it's just a really tough way to end the season. It's just a really, really tough way.
All right, we're going to start. Let's start in the beginning. In the top of the first inning, which was really the difference for the Padres in Game 2, where they got to Kittredge and got a run on the board, put some pressure on the Cubs. Opposite happens yesterday. Tyone comes out and looks really good in that first inning. Padres do nothing. Go over quickly, and you go to the bottom of the first inning with your breath held a little bit with Yu Darvish going to the mound. At least that's how I felt. Wasn't sure what they'd get from you.
Yeah.
First inning, a little shaky. Gave up the one hit, but got out of it with a couple of line drives, but ended up getting through the inning. I thought, okay, settle in.
Yeah.
Sometimes that first inning's the only one. You get through that, and you're going to be okay. Go to the second. Tyone shoves again, so you go to the bottom of the second inning. Really the critical inning of the game when Yu Darvish gives up base runners 4 in a row, first 4 reach.
Tough. Not
all of them hit hard. PCA's single was, jammed him, and it was, floated in front of Jackson Merrill in center field, but it's 1-0 with the bases loaded. And
I'm watching that. AB is a perfect example, and I texted you guys this. PCA has swung at every single pitch, down, away. If it had spin on it, he was swinging. And what do you throw him? You throw him a middle fastball that he goes, oh, God, okay. Like, you hit that pitch. Again, it's just, I don't understand it. I don't understand. You got 9 pitches. They were, loving and lauding the repertoire yesterday. And what do you throw PCA, a guy who cannot get it going? They showed his swing chart. Did you see it? It looked like a 16-year-old's face. Red marks everywhere.
I suggested yesterday maybe they bench PCA. His at-bats looked so bad the first 2 games.
And what do you throw him? You throw him a middle fastball. And it's like, oh, God, thank you for that gift. And again, you got 9 pitches in your repertoire, and that's what you throw. I didn't understand it.
I give Mike Schilt credit for what can't have been an easy walk to the mound to take Yu Darvish out there. The shortest outing of his career, 1 inning.
Oh, I thought it was
plus.
I thought it was so easy, such an easy decision.
I mean, maybe the decision was easy, but the walk had to be tough. Going out there and having to take the ball from Yu Darvish, and you talked about his future after the game. Said I can't wrap my head around it right now. It wouldn't shock me if Yu Darvish retires. He's also well within his rights to show up at spring training for the next 3 years, collect the almost $50 million that's left on his salary. He has signed that deal. That is well within his right. I'm not going to be mad at all if he does that and he gives his best effort, but I don't know if the Padres are going to be able to count on Yu Darvish in their starting rotation really at all over the remainder of his contract.
Well, if you fire up the hindsight machine, and again, you made the point before the show started, was there a reason, and Darren, we'll talk to Darren about it too, because he texted me, he goes, was there a reason Michael King didn't start? I go, I don't know. Just maybe like, did he chase a moment yesterday? Did he go full Dave Roberts and chase that moment for Yu Darvish? Or was that really the best option? Or was there something else wrong with King where he could I don't know. Like, Michael King looked pretty good.
I don't know if it was just emotions. That was one of the first thoughts I had after the game yesterday. I thought, is there any part of Mike Schilt that's going, hey, man, I know he's 39, but that guy's been in a lot of big ball games. He's a future Hall of Famer. That's Yu Darvish.
Was that a manage with your heart situation?
He's also now 0-5 in elimination games in his career. And he pitched really well last year against the Dodgers.
He did.
Really well.
But still, 0-5. That sucks, man. Breaks my heart. I love you so much.
Well, one of the many questions. We got through about 2 innings of our wrap-up.
Do we really have to do this?
There's still so much to unpack.
Into inning number 3 and beyond in hour number 2 of Ben and Woods coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away, Tier 1s.
brother, Benjamin. Paul, all the tier ones.
No, we don't have you anymore. I don't know what happened to your camera.
What?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, I plugged this charger in. Is that a problem?
Apparently so.
Yeah, probably.
It's just it's completely knocked you off of our YouTube stream.
Okay.
We're continuing on with apparently the slowest recap of all time. But Chris Ella just texted, says, I'm dying over here waiting for my third inning and beyond recap.
And on to the third.
At this rate, pitchers and catchers will report about the time that we start talking about the ninth inning of this game as we continue on with our Padres wrap-up from our last segment. And, we got through just the first couple of innings. Padres are down 2-0. Jeremiah Estrada comes in, walks Dansby Swanson to force in a run.
That was awesome.
And then gets out of the jam, striking out Matt Shaw and getting the Matthew Bush double play grounder. And I tweeted at the time that's a win, even giving up 2 runs. And a lot of people were mad that I said that. Like, falling behind is not a win. You know, giving 2 runs to the offense. Do people not watch
baseball? Do they not know how bad that could have been?
My point was the Cubs had a chance to end it.
Right there.
Right there.
They gave you you were dying and they were pumping oxygen into your mouth. Like clear. Boom.
That
clear.
game was so close to being over in the second inning. Do you realize how over it would have been?
It was such a massive pitch.
I mean, a 2-0 deficit felt like a mountain for this offense. 5-0. I mean,
you're done. I'm turning it off. Who did people really write you and say?
Let's go to the movie theater.
Did people really write you and say that? They should be called out on the air. Baseball's not for you, bud.
That was a win,
stupid,
for the Padres, and a chance to really change the momentum, especially if they could have gone right back out and scored.
God forbid.
Of course, they come back out.
When have we ever built on anything?
Top of the third, Fernando Tatis Jr. strikes out three more pitches, 2 at-bats, 6 pitches, 2 strikeouts. Jamison Taillon is cruising, gets to the 4th inning. Luis Ariz comes up, makes okay contact. It's a line drive toward Dansby Swanson. Probably the only play that Dansby Swanson did not make cleanly the entire series. But, of course, because he's been so good, Luis Ariz assumes that he's going to catch it or has already made the catch. Peels off just momentarily, then realizes, oh, wait, Dansby did not pull that ball down. He just knocked it down. Tries to sprint.
Are we going to hold Luis Ariz accountable for that? Because if that was other players, I know for a fact how the reaction would have been.
Of course.
Yeah,
dude.
If that was Manny Machado,
skewered.
Fernando Tatis Jr.,
skewered.
Absolutely,
it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. You just there's no reason you shouldn't be going hard there. Yes, Dansby Swanson made every play. Yes, he got lucky that ball bounced right to him.
Friggin' sunglasses fell off his head. It was a train wreck.
It was a train wreck, and somehow, because Ariz slowed down, cost himself a lead single that inning. Now,
I wouldn't have been running, but I'm 50 years old. I would have hit it, gone out. Yeah, you got me.
I mean, you could tell he felt bad about it, but it's too late. It's too late to feel bad about it.
Jackson Merrill would have been hustling.
Yep.
So at that point, Craig Counsell, through 4 innings, is left with what I think is Sophie's choice. You've got the left-handed lane coming up. Your plan was for Jamison Taillon to get through hopefully 4 innings and get to the left-handed lane. It was just as they scripted it out. He got 12 outs and 14 batters, and they had the 6, 7, 8 lefties coming up for the Padres in the top of the 5th. But Taillon looked so good. Do you take him out and go to your bullpen, which is rested and ready to go and loaded with lefties, or do you leave in your starter who was dominant for the first 4 innings?
There is no way I'm pulling Jamison Taillon if I'm him. No way. He was filthy. Changeup, cutter, nasty, locating everywhere. I mean, he didn't miss. He was so good.
We talked about it the day before with Dylan Cease, and I don't think Dylan Cease made it as hard of a decision.
Right.
Gave up that double to Seiya Suzuki. They were able to take him out in the 4th where they kind of had always planned to. But Jamison Taillon did not make it easy on Craig Counsell. He pitched as well as he possibly could have pitched, but Craig Counsell stuck with his plan. Could have backfired, of course, in the top of the 5th. Gavin Sheets gets a single. Freddie Fermin gets a double. You've got the tying runs now in scoring position for Fernando Tatis Jr.
You are set up.
Who is facing Daniel Palencia. Very hard thrower. does make contact this time, goes the other way, but weakly flies out to right field to end the inning. Another threat for the Padres in this series. Another offer with runners in scoring position to end the top of the fifth.
When you get to the holiday season, everybody starts making a wish list. If I had an off-season wish list, acquiring Daniel Palencia would be on that wish list.
Yeah,
he looked disgusting.
He looks like he belongs in the Padres.
He looks
bullpen.
like a Padres reliever.
If the minor league system was still stacked, AJ would find a way this offseason to somehow get Daniel Palencia. He looks like he belongs in the Padres bullpen. Michael King pitches his scoreless inning. Wandy Peralta does what Wandy Peralta does, looks a little shaky, gives up 2 hits, but gets a double play, gets out of his inning. So the Padres are still in this game. They are walking the tightrope. I tweeted a GIF of a guy over Niagara Falls just shaking on a tightrope because that's what it felt like through this game. You get to the top of the 6th. Manny Machado draws a walk. Okay, that's good. That's a chance to get in business. Dansby Swanson turns an inning-ending double play on Jackson Merrill. Another opportunity thwarted. Get to the top of the 7th inning. Xander Bogaerts with a lead single, continuing what was a really solid series for Xander. He steps up. Jose Iglesias is the pinch hitter. Mike Schilt pulls that card again, and I think very savvily, and something that we didn't see Luis Arraez do this season. He sees Xander going and thinks he's got a good jump. Squares around, not to bunt, not to sacrifice bunt. A lot of people thought, oh, here we go again. We're bunting to try to get 1 run. He saw Xander and tried to protect him and distract Carson Kelly, the catcher behind the plate, by squaring around. Yeah. He had no intention of bunting.
Happens all the time.
He just wanted to give Xander maybe an extra millisecond. And if he bought that extra millisecond because the game it came down to a review, it was too close to call. And the call on the field of safe stood, and we had another runner in scoring position. Jose Iglesias, for the second time, put together a pretty good at-bat, hit a line drive. This time it's Nico Horner who goes up the ladder, makes the snow cone type catch to rob him of a potential RBI single there. Another opportunity thwarted by the Chicago Cubs. And now we're getting really late in the game. Robert Suarez had just pitched 1 inning. Maybe one of the strategic errors here. And I don't know what else he would have done had Adrian Morejon warming up, but Robert Suarez facing Michael Busch to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. You had kind of dodged any trouble from Michael Busch, who was their home run leader right this season, 34 home runs.
He's really good.
Had a really good season. And Robert Suarez, every once in a while, can give up the home run.
And he did.
And he did on this situation.
I was sick when they panned to the bullpen. And there's Adrian Morejon, the dog of all dogs, getting ready. If not for Busch, then who? Tucker?
I understand being careful with Morejon's pitches because he had pitched in both games of the series, and you were probably hoping that just not a home run, like, hey, keep him in the ballpark, and if we need to, we'll bring Adrian Morejon to diffuse the jam later in the inning, but there's no jam when he hits a home run. No. It was the one thing you couldn't really allow happen.
Didn't understand.
And he did allow it to happen there. So now it's 3-0. Going to the top of the 8th. Freddie Fermin, lead single. Another opportunity for the Padres. Once again stranded as the Padres go 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position in this game. But Freddie Fermin had a really good series, threw out 2 runners, had a little help from the instant replay and a nice tag by Jake Cronenworth on that replay. But Freddie Fermin had a really good series. The bullpen continues to get through. How about David Morgan coming in the bottom of the 8th inning and striking out 2 and pitching a really good inning in his playoff debut. Nice job by David Morgan. Nice season, nice rookie season.
No doubt.
By David Morgan. That is something he can really build on. I expect him to be a major part of the Padres bullpen next year. We'll see if, Bradley Rodriguez didn't get an opportunity to pitch in this series, but Padres have a lot of good pieces coming back in that bullpen next year. Should be a strength for the team.
Yes.
So we get to the top of the 9th inning. Down 3-0. Hopes are pretty low.
Very, very low.
Hopes are pretty low. Brad Keller is on, has been their closer, closed out game 1 of the series. He is out there to try to finish things off for the Chicago Cubs and send them to the division series. Jackson Merrill comes up, and I actually texted before the game, and I was surprised because when I saw early in the game Luis Arraez hit that opposite field fly ball that carried all the way to the warning track, I was going, oh my, that wind that they talked about, and we talked about it yesterday, going from right field to left field, that's going to probably carry some fly balls out. I really thought it was going to be a high-scoring game. I was wrong. I was dead wrong about that.
You have to hit the ball for it to be a high-scoring game.
And
on our
I
end.
thought the Cubs were going to be a high-scoring game for them too. I did not expect them to be held to 3. I thought this was going to be like a 7-6, 9-8 type game at Wrigley Field. Didn't happen, but I texted my mom and I said, I'm going to make one prediction for this game. Jackson Merrill is going to hit a home run in this game. Took longer than I thought. I kind of pictured it was going to be an opposite field into that jet stream kind of shot that we've seen Jackson Merrill, but he did finally come through in the 9th inning, pulling one into the basket at Wrigley Field in right to give the Padres just that first surge of life that they had been looking for all game. And Jackson Merrill, make no mistake about it. We saw it more last year because he was healthy. We missed it a little bit this year because he was injured so much. Jackson Merrill is the heartbeat of the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, stop bunting forever. Forever.
And
never again.
And will be for years and years to come. The team will become more modeled after Jackson Merrill going forward. I'm not saying Fernando Tatis Jr. is going anywhere. Manny Machado is going anywhere. But as Jackson continues to grow into a veteran, remember, he's still only 23 years old at this point.
Would have been cool to have him as one of your first 3 hitters when he was healthy,
but
most of the season.
But as he becomes more established, as we go forward, year 3, year 4, I believe, just partly because of the personalities of Manny and Tatis, that Jackson Merrill will become the leader of the clubhouse over the next 5 to 7 years. Would you agree with that assessment?
The vocal leader, yeah.
Yeah, he will be the vocal.
Absolutely.
He will be the vocal leader. He will be the heartbeat. He will be the energy of the San Diego Padres.
Yep.
And that's a role that they need badly. It's hard to ask a kid that young to do it. He did so much of it last year as a rookie, more than you ever could have expected. And this year was tough for him. The sophomore, everything that goes with it, that second year, the adjustments you have to make, dealing with the concussion, the hamstring, the different injuries. I don't think he was ever able to fully integrate himself into season number 2. Still ended up with pretty decent numbers in the end of the year. But I fully expect Jackson Merrill to continue to burgeon into a superstar going forward. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Then, of course, the rest of the inning plays out. And why don't we take a little time out?
Yeah.
Don't Do This is coming up next. There's only one Don't Do This.
The 9th.
His name is DJ Rayburn. And we will go through what happened in the 9th inning and really the unacceptable mistake that the home plate umpire made when Xander Bogaerts was at the plate after Jackson Merrill. We will get to that coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station. Chris, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer for us to finish this recap on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466. For a full list of games and rules, played at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
First, I think we could all use a distraction this weekend. 7 Mile Casino is the place to get your mind off things and have some fun. Play some cards, California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em, Baccarat, and Pai Gow Poker in San Diego's closest, best, and just all-around best atmosphere for a card room.
Well, and they have alcohol there. So you can actually go and if you wanted to have a few to, numb the pain, you could. You can. It's a smoke-free environment, though, so you have to smoke outside. But they do have all the card games that you love, Texas Hold'em, Pai Gow, Baccarat, and California-style blackjack, my beloved.
Perfect atmosphere. The patio is gorgeous. Weekend's a great time to check it out. Brunch on the patio at 7 Mile overlooking San Diego Bay. Saturdays and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Sammy's. Voted best in the South County. It's a great time to check it out if you haven't been there yet. And, of course, Woods, we always talk about the proximity.
Just 7 minutes from downtown. So the season's over, but the location remains the same. Again, 7 minutes from Petco Park. So get on down there, hang out, play some cards, have a great time. It's 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey, player, this is all yours. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Don't do this. Brought to you by Trust and Will. Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
No.
Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com. This is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. One don't do this today. His name is DJ Rayburn. He was the home plate umpire last night for the Padres Cubs, Game 3 of their wild card series. And in this in no way takes the Padres off the hook for their offensive failures, lack of coming through with runners in scoring position, or ultimately a disappointing end to the season. I think DJ Rayburn owes someone an apology, though. Not Xander Bogaerts. I think he owes Padres fans an apology because he robbed us. He robbed us of a moment that should have at least gotten the opportunity to see what would have happened in that ninth inning. After Jackson Merrill's home run, Xander Bogaerts worked a really good at-bat against Brad Keller to get to the count of 3-2. It was 3-1. Keller dotted one on the outside corner. Okay, 3-2 pitch. Really tough take, but a clear ball four. Not a borderline ball four. Not one that, like, okay, it's a tough job. Umpires do have a tough job. Mike Schultz says it all the time.
Ball's down, man.
That ball was clearly down.
It's down.
It was
and
brought up
6 inches.
You didn't need the box.
Ball's down.
If I was watching this game 15 years ago and there's no box, I'm also saying that's clearly a ball.
Ball's down.
I don't need the technology to tell me that. It's a ball. DJ Rayburn, who I thought had a really good game behind home plate up until that point, needs to know that that's a ball. And why he called it a strike?
Ball's down. It's down. Paul just showed it again. It's down. It was down yesterday.
Well down.
It's down today.
It's clearly
it's
a
down.
Ball. Now, at the time, you're going, well, who knows? I mean, it brings the tying run to the plate. Padres have a runner at first base. It can change the entire inning. But this is how it would have played out. If everything happened the same, the next two batters get hit by pitch, Ryan O'Hearn and Bryce Johnson. Yep. So then you'd have the bases.
What a break.
You'd have the bases loaded with nobody out.
What a break.
That's a ball.
That's a ball. Jake Cronenworth then hits that little nubber. Shaw makes a really good play. If he does the exact same thing, there's no other play at any other base other than getting Jake at first. I thought Jake was safe on that play.
Yeah.
In real time, he was out. On replay, it was very clear he was out. But You advance the runners to second and third. One run scores. It's now 3-2.
Look at that still shot.
I know it's a ball. And then Freddie Fermin comes up with one out and runners at second and third, hits that fly ball that instead of ending the game is a sacrifice fly that ties the score at 3. And then with 2 outs, Fernando Tatis Jr. comes up to the plate. The entire game, the entire 9th inning, the entire series is different because of that call. And I don't know that the Padres would have won. I can never say that. You can't say that. The Padres can't ever say that. But as a fan, I really would have liked the opportunity to see what would have happened had they made a obvious call correct in the 9th inning on that ball 4.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously it's a very high tension situation. I don't know. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about what happened after.
Oh, boy.
That is also part of this story. I see in the chat, Tatis would have struck out again. He was having a bad game. He very well might have. He might have had a moment of redemption like none you've ever seen.
I'd like to give him another shot.
Yeah, I would have loved to
give him another shot.
Either way, the game is tied. Padres may not have had enough pitching at that point to get through. I mean, who were they going to the rest of the game at that point? Is Mason Miller coming in now in a 3-3 game in the bottom of the 9th? All I know is that I was robbed of getting to see that by DJ Rayburn.
Yep. And after the game, this was wild. Somebody sent this to me, and I honestly couldn't believe it. There's a video going around of after the game, the umpires are walking through. They're walking through the Padres dugout, essentially down the steps into the clubhouse, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And can we just go out that side and walk around?
Xander's got his back to the field. Schilte's in front of him, and then out from the right, you see Jose Iglesias kind of start to walk. He's got his hoodie on, and he says something to the umpire, and he actually gives it the old one of these, the head to the side, like, come on, bro.
Man.
Like,
come on, man.
The umpire, I actually think he's the one that escalated it. Our boys were in the wrong after, but I think he escalated. He turned, and you could hear him light up, or you could see him.
He's giving him an earful.
You could see him light up Iglesias after that. And then once he got it back from the umpire, that's when he went through the roof, and that's when Xander got really pissed. I do wonder, I mean, Major League Baseball is going to take a look at this. They protect their umpires like they're infallible. I mean, they really are.
Got in there.
Yeah.
Xander standing above Iglesias, giving it to these umpires.
And the umpire is got his neck and his face out. He stuck his whole neck out. He did say it with his whole chest, and he had something to say, and it was nasty, dude. Xander was pissed. Iglesias is leaning in, and they usher this guy down into the clubhouse. And I do feel like there's going to be some discipline handed down. I do, probably at least a fine, I would imagine. I don't know if they're going to suspend anybody, but
they're not going to like umpires getting harassed on the way out by players for sure. But you're right. The umpire escalated, not de-escalated, as they should.
As they tend to do, by the way. How many times have we talked about the ump show?
Commendatory in the chat really wants us to say out loud how bad Jake Cronenworth sucked in this series. Jake Cronenworth sucked in this series. Jake Cronenworth would be the first guy to tell you he sucked in this series. He thinks that we're protecting Jake Cronenworth because he wasn't listening earlier in the program. Jake Cronenworth was terrible in this series. An offer. How do you defend an offer in the playoffs? You don't. He also
have a lot of good matchups, but
he also hits eighth.
Yeah,
he also hits eighth. I'm not putting it all on Jake Cronenworth, buddy.
Yeah, let's back on the DJ Rayburn though, just to wrap things up. The irony or tragedy of it all is that the Padres will never play another game without an automated ball strike system now, and they will not. That was the last game they will ever play. Without the ability to challenge that.
We went out on top, didn't we?
It ends the era of umpires being able to influence games with bad ball strike calls like that, with horrible calls that can't be overturned, is now over for the San Diego Padres.
Yeah.
And it ends with arguably the most impactful missed home plate call in franchise history.
Yeah.
I guess, Matt Holliday not touching home plate was an impactful call at home plate as well. But ball strike call, I don't know that there's ever been a more impactful missed ball strike call in Padres franchise history.
The video's nuts.
Than that one.
The videos. Langston was pretty big.
That was a pretty big one too.
Big.
You're right. That was
if you tapped it, that's.
Oh, I think that's a ball. I think that's 1998 ABS.
Padres really get posed on some of these.
Get the strike call.
Yeah.
And Tino's out. And the inning's over.
Innings
and the Padres
over.
going to take game one.
Yep.
I don't know if they win that series.
I don't know either, but
the Yankees were really good in 1998.
This is, it's interesting that when you put it that way. But yeah, look, most of the people defending the umpire that it was a good call were Dodger fans yesterday. So,
I want to make
unbiased.
Who's trying to argue that it was a good call?
Dodger fans.
That was clearly a bad call.
It was down.
I want to make one more point though, because they're going into the ABS system next year, and you get 2 challenges, which if you get them right, you keep them, but if you get them wrong, you lose them. You would hate to think that a game like a playoff game in the 9th inning
lost the challenge
would come down to, and you're out of challenges and you can't overturn that at that point. I would really like to say every team gets one more challenge once you get to the 9th inning.
Yeah.
You get 2 in the game. Once you use them, you're gone. But anytime you get to the 9th inning, you get one more challenge at the end of the game. Because I don't think any team should have a game or potentially a season, a playoff berth, a playoff series decided because of those challenges. They should have a challenge in the 9th inning.
The manager should have one last ace in the hole, so to speak.
Because that's not going to be a good look for it's not going to be a good look if a game is decided in the future because a team was out of challenges and your umpire made a horrifically bad call.
Yeah, Michael's right here. He says both parties wrong. Umps were terrible. You can't jump them after the game with the amount of effort you showed all series. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the fact that it came down to that is really the problem. You said fans deserve that 9th inning. I think the fans deserved a sac fly from Gavin Sheets in the first game. I think fans deserve the Padres to be able to execute, and stop giving outs away. Things like that. That's what we deserved as fans, and we didn't get it, and it happens, and that's baseball. But to have it come down to that yesterday was it was poetic. It was poetic. And
but like the Edgar Allan Poe really
dark
poetry.
Yeah, exactly. Poetic is, dark poetry is still, and it felt like a Smith song playing out in real time.
This wasn't Robert Frost.
No, it's more like Robert Smith from The Cure. But I'm telling you, man, it was pretty rough. It was a pretty rough way to end. But again, very poetic. And don't, again, like I tweeted, don't let it distract you from the ineptitude of the Padres. And
separate issues, but
separate
a real
issues,
issue.
but a real thing.
And it is one big, fat, don't do this for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
What does Darren Smith think about the 9th inning and the series as a whole? We will talk to our friend from SDFC. They've also got a big game tomorrow on the road when we come back on a Friday with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, well, we can drown our sorrows in some Prize Picks daily fantasy this weekend with let's just turn our attention to football. College football, pro football on Sunday. You've got your opportunity to turn your sports watching, sports knowledge into real cash. It is good to be right at Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy where you're picking against the numbers more or less on stat projections. Watch your favorite team, favorite college teams, favorite pro teams over the weekend, favorite players like Josh Allen. You're picking more or less than 270 passing yards. That's one square in your lineup. You can actually put other Josh Allen squares in. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks where you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the lineup on different stats like rushing yards or touchdowns for Josh Allen as well. When you download the app, make sure you use the code KWFN. You're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. So that's a lot of play to get you started as you're setting your lineups. $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup with code KWFN. Get it started this weekend. Daily fantasy for everybody. Millions of users, billions of dollars in awarded winnings at Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey player, this is and this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Humul Casino Resort, now open.
I didn't hear the audio after the game, but Xander's quote reaction to the missed ball strike call by DJ Rayburn. Quote, "It's a ball. Messed up the whole game, you know. I mean, can't go back in time, and talking about it now won't change anything. So it was bad, and thank God for ABS next year because this is terrible," is what Xander Bogaerts had to say about it after the game. Yeah, no, again, two separate issues, and we're just bringing them both up. We're not ignoring the offense, but it was pretty ugly. We'll get Darren Smith's thoughts on all of it right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Still some slow speeds through National City, northbound 5, but crash has cleared near 28th Street. Northbound 805 before the 54, a car hit the center divide. Also, northbound 67 past Mapleview, crash still in the clearing stage over the right shoulder. And now an accident in the North County, westbound 78, right before Nordall Road. Several vehicles involved. It's over the right shoulder. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Nerves are a little frayed in Padres fan land this morning. Darren, you've been a perspective on the Padres for a long time in this town. Appreciate you joining us as you do every Friday. Good morning to you.
Good morning. You guys provide a very valuable service on days like today. So let me be amongst the thousands of people to say thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Darren Smith. I appreciate that. It means a lot to us. That was a rough series. I mean, that was a rough series. Obviously, we got super excited about the one win because you live to fight another day, which is, you really admired the grit and the toughness they showed in that game. But yesterday, man, just Jameson Taillon coming out in the first inning, I went, "Oh, he's got his real good stuff today. This does not bode well for our hitters." And I thought really the tone was set, man. 3 pitches, we're kind of out of the zone. Toddy's just up there waving, and it's I go, "Oh, this could get bad quick."
Yeah, I mean, you hate to say stuff like this after the fact because, what does it matter?
Right.
But like the first swing of the game.
Yes.
Whoa, wait a second. What was that all about?
What are we doing?
We've been praising Fernando for, how keen his eye has been and how he's changed his game and he's figured out ways to add value, even if it's not 40 plus bombs. You're like, whoa, that was a weird swing. And then it's like 3 of those. And then he's in the dugout again. And it just, just continued along that way. I mean, I think the thing that always gets me and you guys swim in the deeper side of the pool now than I do, but it still gets me all these years, 20 plus in the game and, in media and like the suddenness with which these things end.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it just is like, you're never quite, I don't know. Maybe some people are like, yeah, good. I'm glad. I never really liked this team anyway.
There's plenty of those.
Yeah, even though it felt like it was, and there was so much drama in the game, and you guys were just talking about the umpiring in the 9th inning and such, right? Which is what we should be talking about. But man, like you just wake up today, it's like, wow, there's no more games. Like you've been doing this every day since February, and there's just no more games here. And that's the part I think that I've never gotten used to that. I swear, all these years later doing local radio, I've never gotten used to how suddenly these seasons end, and today is no exception on that one.
It's weird how the game continues, though. Like, there will be playoff baseball this weekend.
I'll be locked in. Believe you me,
like,
my friend.
That used to be fun.
I think I ordered.
I mean, just like now my whole weekend is hate watching all these other teams.
Which is great. I mean, let's be honest. It's hate watching is elite. I just remembered that I ordered a semi-Phillies looking shirt on Ambien last night. That'll be arriving, I believe, on Sunday. Just so you know, it just popped into my head. I go, oh yeah, those are Phillies colors.
Darren,
I love that.
Darren, hindsight is clearly 2020. Padres went all in at the trade deadline again, and it bought them 1 3-game series.
Yep.
And you always feel like, oh wow, I wish you could go back and undo all that they did because they didn't get anything out of it. But would you go back and undo anything that AJ Preller did at this point? Had Ramon Laureano been healthy, my contention is they win that series. Yes. He would have been the most important player that the Padres could have had against the Cubs. And, through no fault of their own, he broke his hand and he wasn't available. Would you have undone anything that he did here?
I don't think so. Especially just hours after the final game. Did you guys see this video, by the way, of AJ walking around the field
on his phone?
Wrigley, hours after the game ended? Like, who is he talking to there? What's going on?
Hank Steinbrenner.
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, listen, I kind of, like
Steve Cohen.
Steve Cohen. Wow. Okay. Yeah, he's probably getting an update.
What's
going on with Yankees Red Sox?
Yeah.
Is there a chance Cashman's out?
Yes, Hank. It's me, AJ Preller, live from Wrigley.
Just getting a score update there. What's going on at the stadium?
I mean, he could have been talking to his mom. We have no idea.
Could have been. It could have been booking a flight. Nobody knows.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about when Mason Miller comes in game 2. I'm like, I will never care what Leo DeVries does.
Same.
I was thinking that. I was like, I don't give a crap. Well, I don't care at all about Leo DeVries. Never want to hear about him again. And today I think it's fair where you start thinking through some of that stuff. And did you have to trade this guy? Could you have been in a better position with one less? But I think the moves were complementary to one another, right? I do think that. And I think sometimes, the circumstances just are what they are. I mean, if you really thought maybe Michael King was going to come back and be able to provide you more than one inning in a postseason series, then maybe, some of the thought process for the other decisions, get factored in, right? In terms of needing another starting pitcher at some point. So it's really hard to say. I don't like, the whole hindsight thing. I appreciate the strategy of thinking that this team was worth investing in and that this season was worth investing in and that it was good enough to get you to a point, but it needed help to get to the next level, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't. And I do wonder, everybody wants heads to roll, right? Everybody wants heads to roll after the season ends. It's an emotional reaction. I got plenty of text messages yesterday. Get rid of Toddy, get rid of Manny, get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy. All right, replace him with who? Who is there to replace him with? You got to think logically. Now, when it comes to, it's been my contention for a while now, Darren, that I don't know that the offensive philosophy of get them on, move them over, give away outs, let's get our guys pats on the butts for giving away outs is the right thing to do. That's the kind of a hill that I will die on. But I don't know how you game Petco Park. I really don't, other than the fact that you get right-handed sluggers that can pull the ball down the line to hit home runs. I really don't know how you game it. We asked Buddy Black the other day, how did you game playing your games in Rockies Field or in Coors Field? And he said, because it's almost impossible, So what is the right strategy moving forward? And if some heads are going to roll, who do you think it would be?
Well, I got dragged on Twitter earlier this week for, even saying I think that there's a non-zero chance that there's going to be a change with the GM and the president of baseball operations. I'm not reporting anything. I mean, I'm not a journalist. There have been times in my past where I've said, I think things are going to change because I knew they were going to change. Like I knew Bruce Bochy was leaving in 2006. I knew Kevin Towers was getting fired in 2009. I don't know this. I just know that there's reason to think that this might be some sort of internal discussion. And, I think when you think about the strategy, right, back to the previous question, when you think about what the strategy was to push all in, that was not just to guarantee you 3 games. Also, by the way, in Chicago,
right?
When you have 72 home sellouts, and we understand the way the business of Padre baseball operates for the most part. We're not privy to the numbers, but when we understand how the business of baseball works here in San Diego, a lot of that is dependent on your creating a team that's going to give you home playoff games, which the team had 4 or 5 times last year and isn't going to have this year. And I do think that's going to be something that will probably be discussed about not even playing a home playoff game. As far as it goes with Petco, I mean, they've had success there. I mean, they have had success there. I don't, it still plays pretty dramatically, right, in favor of pitching. So, from that standpoint, they do have the right guys. I think what you need are the right people, though. I think you need the right people that are going to deal with the fact that maybe their numbers are going to be a little bit impacted by the way the ballpark conditions are set up. So, that's probably more mental than it is something physical. But they've proven that they can have success in that ballpark. I don't think it's prohibitive, but I'm with you on the offensive philosophy. I think one of the questions people and I've asked myself is, do they not hit home runs because they have this philosophy, or do they have this other philosophy because they don't hit home runs?
It's chicken and egg, man. I asked AJ the same thing. Is your offense bad because you bunt, or do you bunt because your offense is bad? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I mean, it's the chicken or the egg, and
I know we just don't like it.
Yeah, we just don't like it.
That's the thing. Like I don't like that. And I also don't think it fits the personality of these players.
Dude, exactly. That's exactly right. Like Jackson Merrill slugged in
Manny
this
Machado
series.
being the face of a small ball team.
100%.
I just don't. I don't.
Tatis.
And you can justify it however you want to justify it. I'm just saying it doesn't fit to me that this team isn't that far removed from the team that was rocking the swag chain and wearing T-shirts that said "Slam Diego."
Yes.
And I just
now
don't
we're
think
Sack
that
Diego.
that's the nonsense. Sack, like they were Sack Diego, like these guys had huge, So that's not what this team is. And listen, I'm not saying that it hasn't bore fruit. Yes. But I just don't think that that's what this group is. And you wonder why Toddy sometimes is so mopey after some of these games. I don't know. Maybe it's just that the person, it's just doesn't feel like it's not the right clothing for these guys.
It's not.
It'd be like watching these dudes go to the bus and wear a bunch of nerd outfits.
It's the Brewers. Like, why do you want to turn yourself into the Brewers when you don't have to be the Brewers? You're not the Brewers. Yeah, you're the Padres. You're right. The swag chain, like that's when you're an opposing pitcher and you're like, oh my God, I've got to navigate these guys. Now you're like, oh, good. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Single? And then what's he gonna do? Their cleanup hitter's gonna get him over. Thanks for the out, right?
We talk about how
Tatis is on the cover of a video game. He's not laying a bunt down. I mean, bat flipping. That's what the Padres had this aura to them.
Yep.
And again, maybe you don't win with aura either, but at least it feels like it was more of a natural fit than whatever this is.
100%.
Talking to Darren Smith, and I do want to save a minute or two for SDFC big game tomorrow. Playoffs are coming up. Hey, we get another chance at playoff disappointment in San Diego.
Great.
Maybe they'll be the antidote to all of it. But I have to ask you. You mentioned your comments on the 1904 podcast about AJ Preller's future, and he has 1 year left on his contract. It's fair to speculate on anybody who hasn't been extended at this point. But if he's gone, what direction can the Padres even take? I mean, is it a full tear down and rebuild for a new GM? I mean, I don't know that even ownership can stomach that right now. Do you want to go back to square one and trade away stars? Can you even do that? Is another GM, can they come in and do anything if they replaced AJ Preller? Or is this franchise kind of locked on course like a giant, huge ship that can't really turn? Its direction is set for a few years.
Yeah, I always said if I ever decided, if I were in charge and I decided that I was going to make a change and I was going to move on from Preller, I would do it 1 year in advance because I would want to give him time to restock some of my system, right? Like that line at the trade line. How do the Padres always have the number 3 prospect in baseball?
Right.
So I would want him to do things to leave me in a better position than just doing something today where, it's been pointed out already here in other places, what the Padres have done even to get to this point, to go to the playoffs and unfortunately to lose. So I would probably plan that out a little better. But, listen, this is a crazy organization, at times. We've seen crazy things happen here. I mentioned I mentioned Bochy. I mentioned, what it was that happened a couple of years ago between the manager and the general manager. So, I do think that there's been, there are some special assistants to the CEO around here who probably have some opinions about things that could happen if, in fact, you decide that you want to make a change, or maybe it's just a mutual thing. The thing I said that got lost in the AI generated clip that got floated out there was when I got hired across the street from you guys, the people that hired me were totally different than the people who were there when I ended.
Yep.
And sometimes your ambitions change and the goals change a little bit. And I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying it's a different work environment. And when you look around, if you're AJ Preller, I'm sure he loves being in San Diego. I think there is a real connection with the fans, but Peter Seiler isn't there anymore. Ron Fowler isn't there anymore. And the people that brought him in aren't there anymore. And do you look around and do you see an environment where you feel like you are supported by everybody in this organization, not just in baseball, but also on the business side? And if you don't, what do you think that means for you in your future? And so, that's just me thinking out loud. Again, some of this stuff I think you guys are well aware of. I think others around town are. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it could. But to answer your question, Ben, I don't know. I would imagine if you're going to make a decision like this, you probably have given it a little thought, and it's not going to be an emotional one or a punitive one just because you didn't advance beyond the wild card round.
Darren, Paulie's giving you a little bit of time here at the end. I was distracted by the Padres this week, so get us caught up on where SDFC now stands going into tomorrow's game in Houston, the conference standings and everything else. I honestly haven't looked the last couple of days, and you understand why.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. And thank you, Paul. I appreciate that you're wearing the SDFC cap today, too.
I got you.
I'll make it real quick. SDFC still on top of the Western Conference standings. Other teams have more games in hand, so we are not in control of finishing on top of the West. Still riding a 7-match unbeaten streak away from Snapdragon Stadium. Houston is not a good home team. As a matter of fact, they've lost as many home games as anybody in the Western Conference. SDFC is as good as anybody away from home, more wins than anybody else. So I would think this is a get-right game, but Houston is trying to fight their way back into the playoff picture. So still hoping for a little bit of good news on the health front. Hopefully Marcus Ingvartson can come back by the end of the regular season, but 32 down, 2 to go, playoffs guaranteed, starting third week of October. So there's your SDFC 45 seconds.
Very nice. I wanted to give you more time. In fact, I want to ask you one more question because I didn't see you last Friday at the Right to Dream, but there were so many people there. You did see me? I was looking. There were a lot of people there. I was shocked, but I was also incredibly impressed at what they have put together in such a short amount of time. And an academy, a school, a first team, now going to have a youth program as well. The staff that they have on hand. I met the owner for the first time, Sir Mohammed Mansour, and his vision for what it is. And we haven't really had the proper time because we've been so into the Padres season the last few months. But guy's a billionaire and seems like he's got his good head on his shoulders and his heart in the right place. I was just really impressed by everything I saw last week.
Yeah, so I used your questions to Mohammed Mansour on our pregame show. Yeah, it was pretty. I wanted to see it myself because you hear about academies and people think, all right, what is it, like a reserve team? But they are growing this from the ground up. These are a bunch of 11-year-olds, and it was so cool to see those guys get introduced like they're Major League Soccer players, like they're professionals. And then to learn a little bit about the schooling out there. It's just a much bigger operation than we probably have time for, definitely, or even than people probably want to hear about on this Friday. But I will say, I echo your statements. I'm around it a lot, and I was really, really impressed by the production that went into that. It is the first of its kind in the U.S., and it stands to really change the game in the sport in the United States.
Darren, really appreciate it. Next Friday, we'll be gearing up for, I think, the regular season finale for SDFC, and then the playoffs right around the corner, so we'll have lots to talk about the last couple of months of the year. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys, and thank you always for having me on. I know the days like today and certain weekend series, you guys probably want to prioritize the baseball, but thank you for letting me do this.
Thanks, brother.
No problem. Darren Smith, always appreciate his insight and some interesting comments about AJ Preller. I think we need to follow up on that as well. Is this, I know it's Friday, but is it also Black Monday for the San Diego Padres? Will there be changes in the organization going forward when we're here on Monday morning?
What do we know
over the weekend?
Who's the manager? Who's the president of baseball?
There could be no changes. There could be big changes. We don't know. We'll talk about it coming up in the second half of Ben and Woods next year on 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away.
All right, mercifully halfway home on a Friday, TGIF for sure. Ben and Woods 97.3. The Fan, appreciate you being here. All of your most of your opinions are taken and valid. Some of them are beyond insane, but listen, that's what happens when you underachieve. Once again, it happens. We're getting used to doing this show every year, it seems like, but that's not something I want to get in the habit of doing. But so be it. Today we'll get through it. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, executive producer. Ben Higgins, friendly neighborhood sports anchor. You look like you want to say something.
I just want to thank Darren Smith again for appearing on our David P. Shapiro fan hotline, facing criminal charges. Trust David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys, helping clients regain control since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Thank you again to Darren. I also want to say I understand that people hear what they want to hear. And not everybody listens to every minute of the program.
Right.
And sometimes they react irrationally. And I can't challenge everybody who comes to us on social media that is mad this morning. But I don't know, this one kind of got under my skin. I was just reading it from the Sanch, who said, you guys obviously got the email from the Padres not to be critical of the team. Did you get the email?
I'm going to kill
Did you get
someone.
the email?
Go back and listen to the opening segment.
We didn't light up a rise for not hustling on that liner up the middle.
Yes, we did.
Except we did. We haven't talked about the stars not coming through.
Yes,
except
we did.
That clearly is the main reason the Padres lost the series. And that's what we did. That's been the focus of this entire show. I get hearing what you want to hear sometimes.
It's absurd, man.
But can you not hear the exact opposite of what we're saying and then think that that's what's true and then come at us at social media and go, well, clearly you're just afraid to criticize the team. I will be fair, but anyone who is being fair this morning will be critical of the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, how could you not? The San Diego Padres should be the most critical of the
and they are
the San Diego Padres.
So, no, we did not get the email from the Padres to not be critical of the team, because that would be insane.
I thought it was a massive, massive letdown. I said it earlier, Sanch, and I'll say it again. You sell out Petco Park 72 times this season. The For the Faithful show up, sell that ballpark out on Tuesdays, Mondays, Wednesday. Didn't matter. Sold out. Petco Park. You don't get one playoff game, not one home playoff game. That's your prize. And that sucks straight up. And that is, if I was a player, that is what would gnaw at me. That's what would gnaw at me. The way that this fan base shows up for you, for me, if I'm the player, they show up for me every day, and I can't.
You guys are relentless.
Yeah, they were. They were absolutely relentless. They were. And
10 times a game.
Yeah, and no home playoff games. Now, more money in my pocket. I'll tell you that right now. Hannah yesterday in the fifth inning was getting updates and reminders. Hey, get your tickets now. And I'm like, I go, don't do it. Don't do it. I'll pay more. Don't spend any money now. And for all those, for everybody out there, that's what would bum me out the most.
That's less money in the Padres.
That's exactly
pockets.
Right. That's exactly right. It's
less
terrible.
money to reinvest in the team in the offseason. And I don't know what that economic calculus is, but I can tell you that every playoff game, concessions, ticket sales, the Padres don't keep all of that, but they do keep a good chunk of it. It's a good extra revenue generator. Playoff baseball is a real thing that is part of the Padres' economic equation. They were at least hoping on it, if not counting on it, they were strongly hoping for a few playoff games at home to, fortify the coffers again going into next season. Will it change their strategy or not? They've had a lot of success in the strategy that they've employed under A.J. Preller the last few years of investing in talented players and hoping that the fans follow. And the fans have followed. The fans have followed well. I believe they will continue to follow. And here's why. Do you want to be the fan who is not there when they finally get, turn the corner? I mean, if they continue to bring back stars and continue to put a good product on the field, I'm not going to be able to walk away. I mean, as long as they're putting together a team that, the pundits say, yeah, there's no reason this team can't go all the way. And they did this year. They put a team on the field that could have done it.
Yep.
They didn't do it. They came up short, but they did put a team on the field that could have done it. And that's what I want from my Padres next season again. And I want to go back to the question that we ended with Darren about AJ Preller. Is he going to be back next season?
God, my gut says.
Yeah, no, or no, yeah.
No, yeah, which means yes. No, yeah, no means
no means no,
and no,
yeah means yes.
If he's not, I don't envy the next person who comes in and takes the job. How do you both keep the good, continue that momentum and the excitement for Padres baseball?
Nobody's better at it than him.
If you came in and made a lot of changes, what changes could you make right now if you're a new GM?
I mean, you're going to have to sell probably some sort of semi-rebuild because I got to restock the farm, guys. That's going to take me a while. It never, by the way, never took AJ long. Never took AJ long to restock the farm. Nobody's better on the planet than that. And everyone bitches at the bottom. You trade all your prospects. Buddy, every team is capable of doing it, right? They're all capable of doing it. There's only one guy that gives up talent, Ben, that other teams go, all right, man, I trust this guy's eye. And look, you see them all around the big leagues. Now, you can look at that and go, well, if we had just held on to these guys. Well, that's what teams like the Baltimore Orioles did. If the Dodgers bullpen comes back to bite them in the ass against the Phillies, oh boy, is that malpractice by Andrew Friedman?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's not even close. If that bullpen, then you've wasted another year of Mookie, another year of Freddie, Shohei in his absolute prime. My God, you wasted it because you wouldn't trade Zaire Hope for a reliever. You wouldn't trade, somebody else, Dalton Rushing for a reliever. That's malpractice, man. It's malpractice. And so AJ will do it. He's done it. And then you know what he does? He goes out and he gets more. And then you know what he does after that? He gets more and he gets more and he gets more and he gets more. Nobody's better at that than him.
So
Nobody.
If you part ways with AJ, whether it's your choice or he walks out the door or some sort of mutual decision with 1 year left on his deal, someone comes in and they've got to have a plan when they come in. And if that plan is, we need to tear down and rebuild, you're immediately the most hated person in San Diego. You've taken a team that sells out every game and gutted it. That's going to be your legacy. That's how you're going to start as GM. Just come right in and become public enemy number one in San Diego. That would be the most hated person in San Diego if that's what they came in and did. So, okay, then bring in a new GM and follow with what AJ's doing. We're going to continue to compete and try to put it. Well, that's what AJ's doing right now. And he's doing it well. Continually putting a talented team that's trying to compete on the field.
You keep trying.
Can you find someone who can do AJ better than AJ does AJ?
Well, and the main thing that Darren said that jumped off the page at me was this. It's not the same job that he signed up for, right? It's not. It's different. We know nothing about the ownership group, nothing. Never talked to John Seidler ever once, never one time. It's not the same gig.
Is he better at this job than the one he actually signed up for in the beginning, though?
AJ, yeah. Yeah, I mean with age comes a little bit of wisdom and experience.
New ownership. Peter's gone. A little more constraints, but he's done really well on the last couple of years. I feel like, I know the results aren't playoff wise, but certainly regular season, 90+ wins the last 2 years, gotten them into a position where they had a lead over the Dodgers. They had a chance against the Cubs here. I mean,
needed to execute.
There's only so much a GM can do.
100%.
And there's only so much a manager can do.
Right.
At some point, the players have to come through in key situations. And just because Fernando Tatis Jr. didn't, he has come through in other playoff series, didn't come through in this one. Did not come through at all. Manny, his playoff, track record, the numbers aren't great, but he's homered in every playoff series the Padres have played in except for one. It's not like he completely disappears in the postseason. Everyone plays.
He's not great in the postseason.
He's not, but he's homered in every series that the Padres have played in the playoffs, other than the Braves 2-game sweep when the Padres beat the Braves. He didn't homer in those two. He's homered in every other series. So he's not completely disappeared in the playoffs. He's not put the team on his back in the playoffs, which you'd like from a $350 million player, and you certainly would like it from Tatis. Tatis has put the team on his back in the playoffs before, did not do it this week.
I
Did not do it at all.
And I don't know the answer. I mean, if Mr. Shenanigans says no division wins and no World Series appearances, right? I mean, if that's how you want to base it, but I feel like with AJ, this is the direction that this team has been, the course they've been set on by AJ. Who is going to come in and then steer the direction in a better way? And how long will that take? Is it 4 years? Is it 5 years? What do you do because you're locked in?
You're so dug in.
You're dug in.
Point,
You're
with
dug
this,
in.
With this trajectory that it would take a complete and utter rebuild.
If the Phillies lose to the Dodgers, which could very well happen in a 5-game series, and they're 3 and out, let's say they get swept, is David Dombrowski out?
I don't know.
I mean, should he be?
I don't know.
Phillies look like a really good team, and
everybody
what have they gotten done? They got to one World Series, and then they fell apart and collapsed.
That's
it.
Everybody wants to play this game all the time. You got to get rid of Fernando Tatis Jr. Okay, who plays right?
Who plays right better than him?
Right. Who's going to throw up 6 WAR or whatever? We got to get rid of Manny Machado. All right, who plays third? Also, is he going to waive his no trade clause?
And you're going to eat that
money? You're going to eat that money, or they're going to pick up all that money? Right? Like, think it through a little bit. I just don't know what's going to happen. People are saying Bruce Bochy. The Giants don't even want Bruce Bochy back. They said it yesterday, like Bruce Bochy to be the manager. Listen, you're dug in at this point with AJ Preller. In my opinion, I think you have to kind of ride it out.
There's so little another GM could do. Let's say, as you just said, if you wanted to trade a star and get value back,
right.
Get young talent, get some starting pitching, get some top prospects. Who is the most tradable player on the San Diego Padres? Who has the most value right now? I think the answer is obvious.
Toddy or Jackson?
Yeah. Jackson Merrill is your most valuable commodity.
Don't want that.
He's signed. He's controlled. He's young. He looks like a superstar. Does anybody want the Padres to trade Jackson Merrill?
I don't.
All right, so new GM, you can't do that. You can't do that at all. Fernando Tatis Jr., maybe Mason Miller is next. Do you want the Padres to trade Mason Miller?
It would be my luck, but no, I did not.
Okay,
but they could.
They
could.
Mason Miller, you're a Met.
Everybody else comes with baggage, large contracts, no trade clauses.
You're dug in.
You saw what the Cardinals tried to trade Nolan Arenado. It was ugly. It didn't work.
Yeah.
There's not much anybody can do coming forward.
But there is something that one guy can do, and he continues to do it year in and year out, and at least give you a shot. It's AJ Preller. I'm tired of is they better get us some help. Well, you got help, and you went out in 3 games against the Cubs. Well, these guys better go up and sign off on these deals. All right, they signed off on these deals. The players have to start backing this thing up. They got to start backing up their general manager. Like, their general manager backs them up. And when they need something, he goes and gets it. And then what does he do? He exhaustively scouts, goes out, finds talent all over the world, loads up the farm system. Does he trade him? Yeah, he does. What does he trade him for? Trades him for big league caliber players that should help your team win. And for whatever reason, when we get to October, Ben, and those lights click on, everything goes cold. Well, not everything. The pitching was fantastic. It was spectacular. The bats go cold, and they have for the last 5 playoff games.
Which is 5 games out of, this Tatis, Manny Machado era. The last now 6 seasons, 4 playoff appearances, really 7 since Manny got here. But let's say that's about 1,000 games the Padres have played, and their bats went cold for 5 of them, and it cost them 2 playoff runs. I mean, more than that.
True, but, 30th ranked offense or whatever in baseball.
But what I'm saying is that, you also have to remember that the playoffs are a very small sample size.
Yeah, they are. There's no question. But in a small sample size, that's why you have superstars to mitigate that. Like, if we're not paying you for October, regular season's great. And I love the consistency of all these players. I really do. And I laud it and I applaud it. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's great. And I love guys that post, and I like guys that play every day. I do. I think that's something to be admired. I want my kids to be that way. That being said, Mookie Betts does not wilt. Freddie Freeman doesn't wilt. They just don't. They don't wilt in October. They have once in 23, like 1 for 21, and it was jarring to see.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happened since? They are a terrifying lineup. I need to pull numbers, and we'll hear all about it with these playoff games going on right now. Aaron Judge, has finally came through a little bit in this series against the Red Sox, but he'd had a rough go. Our guys, man, I don't know what it is about October, but you just can't count on them. They're not scary.
All different, though.
They are, but now, though,
Fernando Tatis has had way more good playoff games than he's had bad playoff games.
Yeah, it's just you stack three of them together.
The numbers show that. Yeah. Fernando Tatis Jr. is an elite playoff performer by the numbers. Of course, he's gone very cold in 5 games that have cost the Padres big time the last 2 years. But overall, he's an elite playoff performer, one of the best that we've seen of this generation.
Yeah, he had a terrible series.
And he had a terrible series. Do you throw out the numbers from before because he had one terrible series? Manny, a little more complicated of a discussion as a playoff perforor.
Matt nails it. He's just, people really want to go back to being completely irrelevant. Irrelevant. Nice job, Woody. Irrelevant. I don't want to go back to it. I want to make the playoffs again next year. I want to go through this pain and this misery and this heartache and this.
I want to go back to the playoffs, but I don't want to be the most predictable team in the playoffs.
100%.
And you use that word a lot, predictable, when it comes to like the small ball. And it's just, everybody knew this does not work. This is not a winning formula.
It's odd.
They have an elite bullpen. We saw that. We knew that.
They're like, you got to get a lead. How do we get a lead?
Mike Shott was so creative with the pitching this series in terms of using that bullpen aggressively. Hey, I'll go to my closer early. I'll go to Mason Miller early. I'll bring in Michael King in relief. And for the most part, it all worked out really well. And he was so uncreative offensively.
I don't understand it.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't understand it.
And Nick nails it. He goes, I got to start enjoying the regular season more because sweating 162 for it to end like that just sucks. It is weird. And I think I did, speaking for myself.
That's why last year was such a gut punch because they were not as predictable.
I was like, I was my best self during the regular season this year. I really was. I didn't throw stuff. I didn't yell. I snapped at my kids maybe twice all season. Really? I was like, man, I'm very proud of how I handled myself this regular season. You're always pretty even keel. I'm not. I worked really hard to get to even keel. I'm not even keel today. I'm crashing out a little bit about it because it's just the same old story every single postseason. And think about the last 5 playoff games. It's excruciating. I'd rather go to jail for a month than sit through those last 5 playoff games again, even though we've got to win in one of them.
Okay, lost 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. I mean, I'd rather sit in jail for a weekend.
If this is June, you forget about it in 2 days. They've lost 4 or 5.
If it's June, I'm like, who cares, man? Just get to the dance. But I'm telling you, man, it is it's such a tough watch right now. And your heart breaks for him because you know what it's like to not come through. And there's no worse feeling. No worse feeling.
All right. I don't want to miss Take on Woods today because I believe it is the last chance to qualify
We're gonna play
for the Eagles in the Sphere. So I think we
should
play.
Good day to get me, actually.
I think we should play because I want to give Tier 1s one last chance. So if you want to be our contestant, call in now. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. I believe this is it to try to qualify for the Eagles at the Sphere and the 2 nights at the Venetian. We'll play our musical trivia challenge. Woods, V-Tier 1 coming up next year on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
But first, if you're trapped in that high-rate mortgage, if you're watching hard-earned money vanish every month, stop. Because right now at Loan Pronto, delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years, Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program, is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. How about an extra few $100 in your pocket every single month? You could actually lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR. You could close in as little as 2 weeks, no appraisal needed in most cases. And you could even end up skipping your next 2 house payments. How about that? Rates this low will not last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com, lock in your new low rate. Skip those next 2 payments now. Don't let high rates hold you back. 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com. Again, 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Humul Casino Resort. Now open.
Little breather. Right? I need a little breather. It's tough. Man.
Yeah, and I don't want to rob tier ones of the chance to qualify for the Sphere.
That's a great,
really good prize.
That's a great point.
So let's get to it. Last game of the month. Well, technically it's already October, but last game of our monthly prize. Let's take on Woods. Take on Woods, brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you, and we've got on our David P. Shapiro fan hotline. Is this Jake?
Hi, yes, this is.
Jake, would you like to play Take on Woods for a chance for tickets to the Eagles at the Sphere?
Yeah, why not?
All right, he's in. All right, if you can beat or tie Woods in our 5 questions of musical trivia, not only do you get tickets to see the Eagles on January 30th, but a 2-night stay at the Venetian Resort Las Vegas, a VIP package, and a $100 gas card. Again, thank you for this monthly prize. You can go to Ticketmaster.com if you're interested in seeing the Eagles in any of their residency dates. Here are your category choices, Jake. We've got I Like Take on Woods. It's 5 song titles that include the phrase I like in the title. Rain in the Forecast. 5 2-word song titles that end in the word rain. And H2O. 5 song titles that include the word water. So we've got I Like Take on Woods, Rain in the Forecast, or H2O. Jake, what would you like to play?
Let's do Rain in the Forecast.
Rain in the Forecast. I think this one's possibly doable. We have 5 2-word song titles that all end in the word rain. So blank rain for every title. And Woodsy won't know that, so you got a big advantage here. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many of the 5 as you can. If you don't know one, say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First questions are 2-second song. Paulie's queuing it up. He'll play you some music. You need to give me that rain-related title and the artist to score that one. Jake, are you clear on the rules?
Yeah, we'll see how I do.
All right, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. Tickets to the Eagles at the Sphere on the line. The category is Rain in the Forecast. Jake, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to pass.
The year 1984 was a big one as Prince released a song, album, and movie, all with what shared name?
Purple Rain.
Correct. At nearly 9 minutes, which Guns N' Roses single became the longest song ever to hit the Billboard Top 10 in 1992.
Pass.
What is pouring down all over me in a 1986 single by Peter Gabriel?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to pass.
Taylor Swift sings about giving up a normal life in her hometown for a life of fame, in which 2022 top 10 hit.
Oh man. Oh, this is not good. Brain fog. I'm gonna have to
All right, back to the song. Any idea? We're out of time. I don't think one's going to do it. Jake, thank you for playing. You can hang on the line if you want. You got Purple Rain. You didn't get No Rain by Blind Melon. November Rain by Guns N' Roses. Red Rain by Peter Gabriel. And Midnight Rain by Taylor
at
Swift.
least four.
I think that's my over-under is 4. All right, Woods. No category for you.
Enjoyed my time out there peacefully.
Get your head right here. Get your head right. This is your distraction for the day before we go right back to the Padres talk. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Jake.
It's No Rain by Blind Melon.
Correct. The year 1984 was a big one as Prince released a song, album, and movie.
Purple Rain.
Correct. At nearly 9 minutes, which Guns N' Roses single became
November Rain.
Correct. What is pouring down all over me in a hit 1986 single by Peter Gabriel?
It's Red Rain.
Correct. Taylor Swift sings about giving up a normal life in her hometown for a life of fame, in which 2022 top 10 hit.
Rain on My Taint.
No, it's Midnight Rain.
Taint Rain.
Taint Rain.
We both said 4 is the number that Woods will get, and we were both exactly right.
What about
you guys? We got 1.
That's all right.
Jake got 1.
That's all right.
I believe that's it. We got our 8 qualifiers. The drawing will be held sometime in the next few days, and our winner for the Eagles will be notified probably sometime next week, although I don't want to make any promises from our promotions department other than they will get it done, and we will have a winner for the Eagles Sphere tickets.
Light's not too bright for your old pal Woodsy.
No, you came through when the pressure was on.
That's right.
4 for 5 is 800. That's a great batting average.
Yep.
All right, let's take a quick timeout. Come back. Manny's reaction after the game is starting to make some national headlines.
National? Wow.
Yeah, it's going viral this morning. It's a clip from our friend Jake at
Jake.
Channel 8. And I don't think Manny was too fair to poor old Jake yesterday, but we'll play the clip and we'll talk about it coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, Woods and I are imploring you, do the responsible thing. If you are married, if you have kids, if you have assets, and you do not have estate documents that specify what happens after you are gone, you are setting up your family for a world of hurt.
Yeah, what are you waiting for? I asked myself that the minute I sat down to log into trustandwill.com, and I realized, man, I should have done this a long time ago. They make it so simple for you. So go to trustandwill.com, use the code radio20 when you check out. Going to give you 20% off. It's a great deal. And again, that peace of mind is worth every single penny.
It really is. You can go to a lawyer, but you're going to get charged a lot, billable hours and such to prepare your estate documents. This is a very simple and affordable way to do it. Again, it takes about anywhere, 20, 30, 40 minutes. Depends on how detailed you want to get. But that's the great thing. You can customize your will or your trust to just how detailed you want it to be at trustandwill.com.
That's exactly right. Again, very, very simple, guys. Trustandwill.com, code radio20 when you check out. Make sure to get that trust, man. Keep your family out of expensive, lengthy, painful probate court. All right. So again, trustandwill.com. Get it done today. Make sure you use the code radio20 when you check out.
pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Humul Casino Resort, now open.
Sour 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 11/1. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples. I truly enjoy my jobs. Both of them. Love coming in the morning, talking to you guys, interacting with the tier ones, playing and hosting Take on Woods, everything I get to do. I also really love my TV job. It's given me the opportunity to do a lot of fun things over the years.
Sounds
travel,
like you're bragging right
go to
now.
playoff series. I am a little bit. I really do. It's always been something that I talk about with my friends. Like Scotty, he never loved his job.
Yeah.
And he's like, you really do love your job.
Can't relate, man. Yeah, exactly.
There's one part of my job that you would not envy. And I have done it before, and I've always hated it. I didn't have to do it last night. Our friend Jake did, though.
Oh,
there's very little worse than having to go into the somber, losing locker room of a playoff eliminated team and then trying to do your job by asking questions of really bummed out players who were, at their worst moment, at least in months, probably, and having to do your job and being in there. It's not fun. It's the last place you want to be as a reporter. It really is.
Yeah.
But you have to do it. Jake did it. Asked a question of Manny Machado.
Very softball-y. It was so easily answered, man.
The
Not softball-y, but you know what I mean.
The
It was
answer's
not
kinda going viral. We're going to play it for you coming up right after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Looks like the roads are starting to wind down pretty nicely around the county. Just a few things to mention here. Northbound 15 past Adams Avenue. We have reports of some plywood in the right lane and a wheelbarrow over to the right shoulder. Good job in securing that load, whoever. South 163 before the 52 accident over the right shoulder, and a crash being cleared out of lanes on westbound 52 right before the 5-car motorcycle involved. It's mostly over to the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Kelly,
all right, come on.
She claims she doesn't understand why we think that's fun.
Right.
And I don't buy it.
Right.
I know Kelly Danick.
It's kind of like when I talk about my cable company. Right? Like I do. We do it for a reason.
There's a double entendre in there
Correct.
somewhere.
Correct.
So yeah, back to the game last night, and afterwards, the reporters who were there in Chicago, wait. There's a cooling off period. Mike Schilt addresses the team, and he goes off to the interview room, and they let the cameras and the writers into the clubhouse to start interviewing players after the game. And of course, there's going to be a few cameras that go over to Manny Machado,
Sure.
one of the team leaders and highest paid players, to get his thoughts on the game and the end of the season. And here's the audio from Jake Garignani from Channel 8 asking Manny Machado about the end of the season.
I know it just ended, but how do you assess a season like this?
I mean, what type of question is that?
Oh,
Babe?
God.
My guy. How do I assess the season? We just lost. How do you think I assess the season? How do you think I assess it?
I don't know. That's what I was asking.
You tell me. What's a loss? We lost. How do you assess it? It's a loss. You lost. Come on, dude. I mean, you could ask better questions than that. Let's go. Come on.
Oh my God.
Wait
for it. Wait for it.
Wait till the last second to ask that question.
As they're walking away, he's gonna wait till the last second to ask that. Come on, bro. You know better than that.
It's such an easy one, man. And I, again, it's that heat of the moment thing. It sucks, dude. I did see people going, "What's Manny smiling for? They lost." I'm like, do you not know the psychopath smile? I do the psychopath smile when I'm mad all the time. Anna and I were talking about this morning. When we argue, we're both like this, staring at each other like this. Oh, really? Really? Is that why? Neither of us are happy. I forgive him for the psychopath smile because I do the psychopath smile. But I didn't think that question was wrong. It's ask me. All right. Here I am. I'm so bummed. I just lost Take on Woods for the 70th time.
How do you assess the season?
I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed, man. I really felt like we had a good team. And we just didn't get the job done. And I'm tired of not getting the job done. I really am tired of not getting the job done. It's on me. It falls on me. I got one hit. And it just sucks. I feel bad for these guys. I feel bad for AJ. I feel bad for the fans. I hate this. I hate it. And, all I can promise you is I'm going to get back in the gym and I'm going to go harder and we're going to come back and we're going to try this thing again, man. That's what I can promise you. It's easy, man. He's a veteran. He knows better. And he's sensitive and he's pissed.
And again, we all know you're going at them at a very tough level.
Of course, Jake knows that. And Jake probably holds no.
I'm sure Jake is fine. He understands, Manny. It's unfortunate that it's going to go viral.
Jake's more
today.
mad at people in the comments are like, "What a stupid question!"
Right? Yeah, because it wasn't. It was so easy.
He's not mad at Manny.
Here's the thing. Some people I think don't understand. When Manny says, "You know the answer to that question," what do you tell me? You know the answer because
I bet it sucked.
Jake does know the answer to that question, but guess what? We can't do as reporters. Imagine what Manny would say. Well, Manny told me to tell you, what I thought. And I think Manny thinks that this really was disappointing the way it ended and that the Padres offense needed to be better. We can't put words in your mouth. So we have to ask you the question so you can directly put the words into your story, whether it's in newspaper, on radio, or television. You ask very basic questions so the players can explain in their own words what they're saying, because it's not our job to put words in your mouth.
Correct.
You have to put those words out there, even if the words may be the most obvious words ever.
And even if it's like, see, people are like, well, they already covered that question. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's still a very simple question to answer. And I'll bet you at some point, Manny goes up to Jake Garignani and the next time they see each other, hey, my bad. I was hot, mad. I promise you, man. We've known Manny a long time. Look, I will say, man, this isn't the first time that guys have acted defensive and all that this year. It's been a freaking defensive year. It really has. Schulte gets defensive about it. Now Manny's getting defensive. Manny how long has he been in the league? 12 years? Manny knows better than that. He absolutely knows better than that. He's had people at his locker asking him the same question over and over and over. Well, what were you looking for? What did you think? He knows the drill. He knows the drill. This is, again, like, you're, as a skipper, as a player, you're not infallible to criticism. You're not infallible to questions. And it's been a pervasive attitude of this team. Defensive, on the defense. Anytime anybody, how dare you question, three lefties in a row. It worked in Johnson City. Truly, like it's.
So do you think that was just Manny? That's just who Manny is, or do you think that's emblematic? It starts at the top and it's trickled down.
Paulie, We've all covered Manny for years since he's been here. Never heard him like that. Never once.
Which it also shows that Manny is a human being.
Of course.
Who is having a really bad moment. Now, we don't, in our regular lives, we don't have to face that. We all have professional disappointments. You're you got a big contract that you're trying to secure for your company.
And you dropped the
You
ball.
were right there at the last minute. You thought you had it secured, and you had a bad phone conversation with the client, and he decided to cancel on you at the last moment. And this is really going to hurt. You're not going to get your bonus. You're not going to get your promotion. And this is like a low point for you for maybe a year, maybe the last 2 years, like your worst moment. You have to, 5 minutes later, you've got 5 people stuffing a camera in your face going, how did that happen? Can you assess, how did you lose this contract so badly when it looked like you had it right there at the end? You're probably not going to give the most eloquent.
At the end of the day,
it's going to be it's going to be very tough for you to deal with.
At the end of the day, all fans ever want, it's all they ever want is accountability. That's it. I messed up. I was terrible. What do you say to that? Yeah, you were. It's all they ever want. It's all I ever ask for my children. It's what I ask for from my wife. It's what I try to give to my wife and my kids. I screwed up. It's on me. I try to give it to you guys. Guys, I butchered that. I was terrible today. You've heard me say that a million times. If I think I'm terrible, I'm going to tell you I sucked. That's all fans want. There's no rebuttal to that. What's the rebuttal? Ask me again. Ask me again.
How do you assess the season?
I was terrible today. I was terrible in this series. I have to do better.
Yeah.
I think
what's the follow-up?
Ultimately, and Manny knows this. He doesn't need me telling it, but
yeah, Manny, he said it was on him. He absolutely did. That's what I'm saying. That's all we ever want.
Manny doesn't need me telling you this, but you think that you were facing a tough question there. If you were in the locker room playing for the Yankees and you lost after that game, you're facing 80 questions that are basically just insults that are hurled at you. Jake was very professional.
Manny, you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. How does it feel?
Jake was very professional in that question. It was open-ended.
Yeah.
It really allowed Manny to say whatever he wanted to. It wasn't just fair. If anything, it was generous. It was a generous question to give Manny Machado. It was not pointed.
No, it was not.
It was not leading.
It wasn't.
There was nothing at all wrong with the question. And Manny overreacted.
Yeah, he's pissed.
And it was inappropriate.
Yep.
It of course, is forgivable. He should apologize to Jake at some point. And like you said, I would imagine he probably will at some point. I don't think Jake is going to lose any sleep over it. He did his job exactly the way he was supposed to do his job.
Yeah, I agree.
If anything, he could have asked a tougher question.
Yeah, right.
And it would have been okay. It would have been okay to ask an even tougher question.
Jake, he did not ask for a nuanced question. He wanted a broad question. A nuanced question would have been, how do you improve on your, 200, 260 OPS in the playoffs? That's a nuanced question. A broad question is, how do you assess this season? And it's as broad as it gets. Nuance is completely different than that. Come on. And again, for people going after Jake or Manny, actually, both very difficult jobs. So, it is what it is. That's the part of yesterday. The thing I'm probably most interested about is I don't mind a leader being pissed off and giving me a psychopath smile after he underperformed and the team didn't move on again. The thing I'm most concerned about is what happens with that umpire scene with Xander and Jose Iglesias. And, that's gone viral as well. It's gone everywhere.
I wonder if you're going to get a chance to break out your psychopath smile in our final hour, because we are going to open up the phone line.
Is this our penance? This is our penance.
A little bit. If you can elicit a psychopath smile from Woods here, I'll consider that a win in our next hour.
Don't do this to me.
If you want to join us, 833-288-0973. Let's talk about your assessment of the Padres season. What kind of question is that? Tier ones are wondering. Call us now, 833-288-0973. Coming up next here on Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan.
Man, what did we do to deserve this? We did not come through with runners in scoring position. We didn't throw a hanging,
Yeah, you know what?
splitter or something.
Even we are susceptible, though, to the bad moments.
Punishment.
I want to, the phone lines are now jammed, 833-288-0973. Normally we do the Rondo Report here, but we're going to go out to the phone lines. Rondo Report brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. I got testy from a tweet earlier, remember?
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
The Sanch has tweeted back. He says, I apologize.
Thank you, sweet angel.
Wasn't trying to come at you. When I turned on my radio at 7 a.m., the first thing I heard sounded like you were blaming the bad call. I want accountability from you, from them, so it needs to come from me. Sorry for the aggressive tweet.
What is this healing?
I know.
Do I see healing and accountability?
And I am sorry I got testy. I knew you probably weren't listening that first hour, and I took it out on you on live radio airwaves, kind of like Manny took it out on Jake, as he shouldn't have, and I took it out on the Sanch because I got testy.
I texted Jake. Jake goes, it ain't no big deal.
Yeah.
It is no big deal because I've been called every name in the
Jake
book.
of all people.
Jake of all people.
He's the most zen, chill guy. He doesn't care.
I would have been in a hole. In an absolute hole.
As he was talking, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Just backing away.
Jake said, gee, dude. Sanch, we love you, dude. That's an amazing. You don't see that much these days.
We need more of it. Honestly.
We do.
Sometimes you're going to make a mistake if you own up to it and
swear it.
And you wear it, and I'll own up to my gotten a little too quick responding to a tweet I probably didn't need to. So let's move on from there. Let's see what the tier ones have to say. We're going to start top of our board today with Matt. Welcome to the day after, Matt, on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, fellas. How you doing? You guys have been there for me this week, all the time, all season. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just want to, like, an overall view of this thing. I mean, there's, runners in scoring position. We can nail down and drill down on a lot of things, but just an overall thing with this team, and it seems like it repeats over and over every year. And you know me, I talk crap about this team like a little brother. I love them. I'm a guy for these guys. I spend thousands of dollars on these guys. I love watching them. I love Manny. I think the guy's great. I see a future Hall of Famer,
Yep.
But also there's a flip side to that. And you've got to see that this guy isn't built to be that leader guy. And there's been year after year of this team coming out and not being the team you think they should be. And if this guy wants to put the C on his chest like we all think he should, there's got to be a point where you grow up and you realize it's not all vibes. There's more than vibes of this team and bat flipping. You got to show up and you got to be a cold-blooded killer in the playoffs, and you got to do more than just bat flip. And I love that stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love that stuff. But there's more to it than that. There's more to it than just the good times. You see a good leader in the bad times, not the good times. A good leader shows up when things are going rough. That's when you're like, oh man, this guy really knows what's up. This guy is going to take accountability and answer these questions and, really take the brunt of it. And that answer yesterday was disappointing. I mean, I'm not surprised by it because he's done that before. We've seen it before year after year. We've heard last year where they said they quit on us in 23, and it's happened before. And I don't fault the guy. He's emotional, we all are, but there's got to be a point where you realize, man, I gotta grow up here. If they want me to be captain, I gotta be that dude.
Matty,
I gotta be that guy.
I agree with you, dude, and everything you're saying. Leave him on, actually, if you want to leave him on. Matty, I want to leave you on for this because it's a question for you guys and Matt too, and the tier ones out there. Who's the best leader in baseball?
Ooh,
who's the best? Who is the best? Question. Who's the best leader? Like, who is the guy that you go? That's.
Do you want my honest answer or something that's not going to hurt as much?
Well, so the captain of the New York Yankees is Aaron Judge.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It doesn't get higher than that. Now, postseason failure.
I think
postseason failure.
An honest answer
Mookie
has to include or Freddie Freeman.
Freeman.
I mean, it has to include either of those.
Imagine having both. Imagine having both. Is it Bryce Harper? He's got no rings either.
But I think the conversation about Manny has to include both sides. Manny leads in many ways.
That's exactly. I was just going to say too. There is something, Matty, about showing up and going about your business every day and being in the lineup. That we've never discounted that. I do think.
Leading by example is huge.
It's huge.
Leading by example for sure.
Ben is a leader by example, straight up. Ben is as close to that guy has, for me in my career, has made me take it more seriously. Ben is a leader by example. I am a more vocal leader.
Correct.
Period. That's how it is. But we both try to use that together. He needs some help. Who is the help? Is it Jackson Merrill?
Well, that's the thing. It seems like every offseason and every trade deadline, they're like, well, let's bring in this guy. He's going to bring that. Like,
right.
This guy's going to bring it in this time. This manager's going to bring it in this year. And I feel like unless they get a manager where, and I hate to say it, I mean, because they're grown men. They don't need the little league coach to be the dad guy.
Right.
But like these player coach guys aren't that guy for this team, And I hate saying that. It's so dumb. But I mean, you could see it. You could see it on Tatis. You see it on these guys' faces that, like Tatis, like his dad when he's the manager in the DR, he's a different dude.
100%.
I mean, do they need to bring his dad in here to sit on the bench and babysit? Like,
100%.
that's what we need to do.
100%.
But I mean,
I agree.
Are we at that point?
That's
I
such
don't
a
know.
good call. I love you, dude. You're one of my favorite people.
Thank you, Matt.
Family man, bro.
Let me
He's
add,
the best.
though, on the big league level, I don't think you can truly be a leader unless you are also producing.
Right.
And I think Xander could be a leader, but he hadn't played well enough until maybe a little bit recently where he could step up and be more of a leader.
Well,
Joe Musgrove is a leader. Hard to be a leader this year when you're just rehabbing.
You can rally guys
and
important. Lead by example.
Yeah, he was, but
he's not getting in guys' faces.
They
I
always
imagine.
say, Craig Stammen was a great leader,
but he was a lead by example guy.
But I don't think you can be a leader without at least being somewhat of a star player.
Who's the best, man? Who's the best? It should be glaring on every team. Glaring, because it's so glaring here, right? Everyone thinks they know. Everyone thinks they're in that clubhouse. Everyone thinks For me, it also starts at the top. It starts at the top with the leadership. That's the leader.
The Padres have been in an odd situation where some of their best players haven't necessarily been their most vocal leaders. Juan Soto is not. Yeah. He's a great player.
He's
not a clubhouse
great player.
leader.
He's not a leader, man. Francisco Lindor, good leader? I don't know. I have no idea. Pete Alonso, pretty quiet dude, but leads by example and produces. I think Jackson Merrill is a MFing leader. I think he is a leader and a producer.
It's hard to be a leader when you're 23.
It's
but
not,
he's going to only get older and better at it, I think.
I really think he is a leader. And I think if Fernando Tatis Jr. would spend a little time this year on the couch and realizing I'm really good. He said it before. When I'm going, there's nobody better than me, right? Get your head right and go out and lead this team. Help lead this team. You can have more than one leader. There's a final voice always, but you can have more than one leader. Paulie is a leader. Paulie shows up. Paulie never takes a day off. Paulie is a leader.
Took a day off earlier this week.
Paulie rarely takes a day off. Okay,
Paulie almost never takes a day off.
He was moving. He didn't take a day off to sit on his ass and smoke weed. He took, he's a leader. Listen, but we are a unit. There's a unit. There's 3 guys in here that lead this ship. And I don't think it's bad to say you need more than one voice. And Manny's going to get that. Manny's going to get that rap, you guys, until he holds it. I can't tell you guys. It's in the dozens of the tweets I got last night that said the Padres will never win with Manny and Tatis in the clubhouse. And I go, I don't agree with you. I'm sorry. There's nobody better to replace them right now. There's nobody.
I don't agree
with you. I think it's an emotional take.
I don't know that we can ever compare, or any of us can really compare our jobs, though, with what a Major League Baseball player or any professional athlete deals with, because the big difference to me is in most of our jobs, you don't have someone else who's trying to stop you from doing your job. It's really up to you. Who do we have that's trying to stop us from doing a good show?
Oh, you mean other people in here heckling us?
Yeah.
That'd be cool, actually.
No, I mean,
you guys suck. You suck. We have the chat.
We don't have to face.
No, here, let's go.
We don't have to face a highly. We don't have to face a highly.
Shut up, moron.
Hey, shut up.
I mean, yeah, there's competition with other shows and stuff for sure, but they're not actively trying to stop us. When you're a baseball player, when you're at bat, you have another highly paid professional who is trying to stop you from doing your job, the pitcher, and vice versa. If you're a pitcher, you have a very highly paid professional who is trying to embarrass you at your job. For us and for most jobs, good teamwork, grinding out, doing a good job, working hard should pay off in the long run. Doesn't always work that way in baseball because someone else is out there who's also making a lot of money to stop you from doing your job. And that's always tough. Let's keep going. Let's get another one here. Is this Miguel? Next up here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Miguel.
Hey, good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Hey, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking my call. I just have a couple of things that I want to talk about.
Sure.
I'm really disappointed with the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, cool, we can be happy about making the playoffs. That was fine when we were in the rebuilding stage, but at this point, they've been telling us for the last, 4 years now that this is a championship caliber team.
Yep.
And for us to crash out that early, it's just very disappointing. And I just really feel like this year didn't hurt as much. Last year, I feel like it was just such a gut punch.
It's the worst.
Almost felt like,
It's the worst.
it was almost like I got served, divorce papers at work.
Yeah.
This year was just kind of like a little more expected. I just didn't see the spark in this team. Last year we had that, miraculous run. It felt like everyone was on point. The energy was up there. And
then it stopped. It just stopped cold.
It stopped.
It stopped
And
cold.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was, the whole ownership drama, the holes that we had at left field and at catcher that really just kind of handicapped us. I salute the pitching staff.
Yes.
Because they held it down all season. But I just don't know if all those one-run games were just, I think that kind of showed us that this offense and just leaving runners in scoring position all season long, we knew that was going to happen again in the playoffs. We worried, and it came to fruition. And where do we go from here? Because I feel like Preller has a lot of, things that he needs to address because this isn't a new thing. Last year we crashed out again, going two games basically scoreless. So is it a leadership issue? Is it Machado? Is it Tatis that can't lead anyone? Are we looking at a 22-year-old kid in Merrill who's going to be the one that's going to take over the clubhouse, which is kind of crazy to think about?
All good questions, man. All great questions. All great questions and concerns. I mean, if I knew, I wouldn't be here. I'd be a billionaire.
It's funny because I think I kind of agree that it feels different than last year.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
Big time.
Last year's team won 3 more games in the regular season over 162 and 3 more playoff games than this year's team did. This year's team won 1. Last year's team won 4.
Yeah, but dude, it's different. It was when the entire world, including the team that beat you, goes, hey, we just beat the World Series champs. It really stung, and it continued to sting throughout the offseason. And then that team rolled over this year and said, it's yours if you want it. And you go, no, we're good. We're fine. We don't need it. We're good. That's the real bummer for me too. If you're going to, I don't want to lament too much, but I do think, August, September was really, really rough. You had it. Could have been yours. I saw this yesterday. And of course, as fans, we are insanely more passionate because we have to be. We're willing. There's people that fist fight about it, you don't see players fist fight too much, really. They really don't. And when Mookie slides in the third, Manny and him are hugging it up. And it is what it is. It's baseball in 2025. I'd like to maybe at spring training say, do you know how tired we are of seeing these empty trophy cases tweeted us? Does this bother you like it bothers us? This makes us insane. Oh, here's another fake banner that Dodger fans have made. Does that not bug you, Jake or Manny or Toddy, Xander? Does that not make you insane to see? Because it makes us insane. Does it make you insane? Because if it doesn't, it should. It should. It should make you insane. For this city, 72 sellouts, this should make you nuts. Here's my sentence to the Padres players. You have to spend every day on social media. Well, I'll stay out of your clubhouse next year. I'll stay out of it entirely. You have to spend every day interacting on social media like we do. Same for the skipper, whoever it is. Same for the GM. You got to get in there and you have to be in it with us. And you got to see the memes and you got to get the DMs laughing at you. And some of them do. But you know what I'm saying? Really to see how embarrassing it is year after year. Do you guys feel that? Do the players feel how embarrassing it is for this fan base every year? Just shame.
But that's not going to make everybody perform better.
How do you know?
Some people.
I'll give up my press pass today.
Some people,
if they do that.
Some people would respond to that. I've got to throw it in these people's faces. Others would, I think, retreat. If you actually opened yourself up as a professional athlete to the relentless negativity of social media, it could destroy a good number of people.
It's taken me so many hours of therapy to not let it destroy me. I'll be there in 2 hours. It's taken so many hours of therapy to not let it destroy me as the stupid radio host on the flagship. Like after last year, it doesn't bother me really anymore. It really doesn't get to me like it used to at all, not even close. But it's taken a lot of work.
I do disagree though when Steve N in the chat says it's only personal for us, the fans, not them. In a sense, they are professionals, so they have a different approach.
It's a different approach.
But
it's not
whatever you're professional about, anything that you spend time at, this radio show, it's just a job to you, right? It's just you're professional.
This is my passion.
Oh, because you spend so much time doing it. So do you think that a baseball player who spends months, spring training, hours on the road, hours in the cage, 162 games, that you don't think that they care at least as much as you do, and that they take it personally when they lose? They do. They do. Like any one of us.
I just wonder if they're as embarrassed as we are.
What you see on their faces after they lose is a defense mechanism. I mean, most of them don't want to just start bawling and crying on the field that they lost.
We would make so much
like a little
fun of them if they did.
mean, what do you want them to do? Break everything. Kevin Brown did that. He was a hardo. He had a bad inning. He would destroy everything. Yeah. A lot of fans loved seeing that because you could see his passion. Just because you don't always see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? I mean, isn't there hidden things about all of us? I promise you that anytime you spend that much, they spent their whole lives getting here. They spend their whole lives essentially. They give up a lot of personal life, family time.
So why
they care about it?
Why, when the brass ring is in front of you, is it too much for you? Again.
Hold on, and we got to take a break. What did the Padres do wrong in this series other than not hit?
I mean, it's a
huge thing. It's why they lost. It's why they lost. But if you told me that they went out and they played sloppy,
I don't think they should have started Yu Darvish. We haven't really talked about that much today.
And we can talk about that. But if they made mental errors,
and that's
they looked
not
like
just because of how it went.
They weren't prepared for the series, I would entertain notions. When a team doesn't hit, hitting is hard. It's going to happen sometimes. It's not going to happen sometimes.
It doesn't happen so much to this team in October, though.
It's happened the last 2 Octobers where they've stopped hitting for sure.
Right.
But it's also happened to 11 other playoff teams that eventually stopped hitting in October.
But I don't care about
Only one team continues to hit all the way through October.
I hope the rest of them never hit in the postseason,
I get
and
that.
we do.
But it's not unusual for a team. Most teams stop hitting at some point, and then their season comes to an end. In October. The Padres aren't unusual. Don't make it sound like the Padres are the only team that gets to October and then fails. Every team except for one gets to October and then fails. For some, it's in the first round, some it's in the second round, some it's in the championship series, and some it's in the World Series. But eventually you get there and you don't quite do enough. And unfortunately for us and for Padres fans, it came a little earlier than we wanted the last couple of years. One of these years, we hope that it never comes. But hitting is hard. I saw a well-played series by both teams. I did. I saw a well-played series. Padres made no mistakes that I can see, like, physically, other than not hitting. They pitched well. They fielded well. There were no mental errors that I saw in the series. They just didn't hit.
Run out of.
Okay, right. That was bad.
There's plenty. I mean, there's plenty of mental errors. Throwing Pete Crow Armstrong a fastball. With the bases loaded, is a mental error.
It's the same stuff that they did all year long. It's not like this.
It wasn't a new team that showed up.
Yeah, they didn't play one way for 162 and then play completely different for 3 wild card games. This is the team that we've seen all year long.
Well,
and this is why we said back in June.
Didn't hit.
We said it back in June. It's gonna be a bold strategy to roll it out there like this.
0 adjustments. We're elite adjusters. Are you?
Not hitting wise.
No.
They never were.
Adjustments at it. Yeah. I mean, they didn't adjust at all.
All right, let's take a timeout.
I'm curious, real quick. I don't know when it's going to be today, probably maybe Monday or Tuesday, but we will have an AJ Preller press conference, most likely. Happens at the end of every season. Maybe Mike Schilt joins there. Padres ownership ever going to talk to anybody?
I don't know. It's not like we haven't asked, so.
Anybody. I mean, are they going to do? Is John Seidler going to do an end of the season Zoom? I haven't heard anything about it, but I feel like they kind of owe the fan base something.
Yeah.
Like, what's the plan moving forward?
Right.
What are we doing?
What are we
here?
doing? Right. Yeah, fair enough.
Now let's take a time out. Phone lines are still open. 833-288-0973. All of our calls appear on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. I'm going to get used to this.
It's
We're going to be doing it for a while. I'm glad David's on board. Facing criminal charges, trust David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys, helping clients regain control since 2010. DavidPShapiroLaw.com. Back with more Ben and Woods after traffic on 97.3 The Fan. First, though, I'll tell you about SDFatLoss.com. I still run into people in our hallways. Scotty, who works here, said, "Man, you're looking really thin." I go, "Yeah, I've been thin for the last 2 years, thanks to SDFatLoss.com." I like that people still notice, though. I guess it's probably right. I had gotten too heavy a couple of years ago. I didn't like the way that I looked in the mirror. I felt like I needed to do something about it, but I had so much struggles with other weight loss programs, mostly because I didn't like eating bars like 4 times a day or shakes. They just messed with my system. I didn't like it. And then they told me about SDFatLoss.com and a program that was based on real food. I thought, all right, I can do that. You mean chicken and steak and vegetables? I like those things. I can eat them. I did. I lost up to a pound of fat per day. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. They can do the same for you. 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 2 months. Sign up for a free consultation now at SDFatLoss.com. Lose the weight by early December. Before even Christmas time is here, you can be down and a brand new you with no injections, no exercise necessary to lose the weight, and then your metabolism has changed. It's so much easier to maintain. I've maintained my weight loss for 2 years. It's up to you, though. Got to go to the website, set up that free consultation, learn how it's going to happen from a great coach and counselor at SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Okay, player, this is all yours. This room with this and this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Everybody take a deep breath. All right. Talking to myself. I tweeted earlier, I said, we're too old to be crashing out over baseball this week. Don't tell me how to fan. I'm like, buddy, I'm really talking to myself here.
This is the day.
It's true. I get my one day.
You get a morning to crash out a little bit after a long season that we put so much time, energy, as fans even, into watching. Yeah, you take today. Actually, we talked about it earlier off
I didn't
the air.
even crash out yesterday. Today's the day.
We talked about it earlier off the air, a little behind the scenes, pull back the curtain. Clearly, we would have liked this run to go on as long as possible. We love talking Padres baseball with you guys and wish it would lasted all the way through the World Series. When it did come to an end, as Paulie said, Thursday's a good day for it to come to an end.
Yeah, if it had to be any day.
We can come on Friday.
Remember how bad last year was? It was a Friday night. You had to sit in that
all the
all
way until
weekend
Monday,
and then
yeah.
come in on Monday and be like, what the F happened 72 hours ago?
My idiot Dodger fan friends sending me blue roses in here. I was like, please don't let me see some blue roses again this year.
Like, I'm not saying it's all sunshine and roses, but we do the show today. You head into the weekend. You come back on Monday.
You do some hate watching.
I'm not saying on Monday everything's going to be peachy keen. It's not. You're still going to feel the sting. As long as there's baseball being played this month and it doesn't involve the San Diego Padres, every time you turn it on, especially when like the Cubs are playing the Brewers this weekend, Saturday at 11 a.m., it's going to sting. It's going to hurt. But on Monday, it'll feel a little bit better. We'll get back to a little more semblance of normality. We will be able to smile and laugh again by next week. But yeah, you do it on a Tuesday and you got to kind of deal with it all week, or you do it on a Friday and then you have to kind of start the week that way. I'm kind of glad it's a Thursday and now it's Friday and we can just get it all out on a Friday. Head to the weekend.
Playing any golf this weekend?
I didn't make any plans, of course, because I expected maybe Saturday was going to be built around a viewing party somewhere and we were going to be watching a ton of Padres baseball. So yeah, my calendar's open. If any tier ones want to invite me to play golf
at your private,
very fancy private clubs, definitely. I'm certainly interested.
Well, since my 10-year-old nephew is having less of a crash out than old man Woods. Fair, man. Fair.
There's something to be said about the resiliency of children. How are your kids?
Bo was like, he had football practice, so I saw him after. I'm like, yeah, it sucked. And he's like, yeah, sucked. I mean, he does, he just wants to play baseball and root for his guys. He's not been poisoned yet, right, by the sickness of fandom. He's not, he doesn't like seeing kids in Dodger hats at school, that's for sure, but he's not psychotic yet like all of the rest of us. He just wants to play.
Kids.
Yeah. Those guys are still his idols, his heroes. Still wants to look like Fernando and Jackson and play like Manny. Like those are still his guys.
And they get a lifetime ahead of them. I mean,
Yeah, let's not ruin them now at 7.
Well, and this is now 57 seasons the Padres have played baseball without winning a World Series title.
Yep.
And when I was a kid in 1984 and they lost, it was disappointing, but that was only their 16th season in Major League Baseball. Yeah, 16th season. And I was still a young child of 8 or 9. And, you feel like, well, one day I'm going to live a long life and I will see my Padres win the World Series. And they got to 1998 and I was in my early 20s and they played the Yankees and that was disappointing, but I'm still a young man and there's many, many decades ahead for my Padres to win a World Series. I'm going to see it. But when they start,
well, the cool news is then you started working and like covering the Padres. That must have been
now
cool.
In your late 40s, or I think of like my dad, who's been a Padres fan his entire life. I'm going, guys, better.
Are you nervous?
Better dang win it before I'm gone here, right? Before my loved ones get a chance to see this, right?
Starting to talk like Cubs fans and Red Sox fans and Guardians fans.
Well, I'm telling you, if I always think about the Red Sox 1918, right? And then it can happen. It's not going to happen this year. Certainly the Cubs, long history of losers, just straight up.
It didn't
losers.
get talked about as much because of the Red Sox.
There was
the length
no
of their curse, but
social media, Paulie. Social media has made the thing a billion. 20 years ago, you walk into work today, couple of buddies are like, "Oh, this sucks, doesn't it?"
Yeah.
Texting was around 20 years ago, wasn't it?
You pick up the paper,
right? The paper, it sucks. You go to social media and it's just a fire hose of negativity coming at you. It makes it 1,000. Screw our grandparents, screw everybody that's old that never had to deal with it. It makes it 1,000,000 times worse, right? Like dealing with the Padres failure, Ben, in 2000, whenever. What, somebody write something nasty about him in the paper? Somebody write a letter to the editor? They might have had one little quip on sports radio about it, on a national show, and then it's over. You have to sit in this and wallow in it and bathe in it.
Feels like there could have been a world where social media could have been a giant collective support system for all of us.
Could have been.
Man, we are all connected in ways that we didn't realize. We're more similar than we are different. Isn't this world a wonderful place where we have this kind of love and support? Like a love fest of social media, but that's not. I don't think that's how we're all wired.
Juan says you can always put your phone down. It's true. It's true. You don't have to engage necessarily. It's a good lesson for all of us.
But we also then feel like we're being judged when we ignore.
Correct. Then you feel like you're soft. You're running.
What are they saying behind my back? I'm not seeing what they're saying about me.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But at some point they'll figure it out. Some point. It won't be today.
We have one last pair of tickets to give away. If you'd like to move on to a little basketball in your life this weekend, the Nuggets are taking on the Timberwolves at Pechanga Arena. NBA preseason action this Sunday. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. You can win them right now, though. Third caller, 833-288-0973. I don't know if we have any open lines right now, but you can try to get through. 833-288-0973. Paulie will figure it out. He will pick a winner. We'll give away some basketball tickets, and then we will come back. Last thoughts on the Padres playoff exit against the Chicago Cubs from your friends Ben Woods and Paul coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, player. This is with this. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Humul Casino Resort. Now open.
I'm about as over it as I've ever been.
Yeah, it's in the manual.
It's in the manual.
Sports talk
radio.
manual.
Since when do we follow the manual?
I always tried.
I'd rather
never really let me follow the manual.
I'd rather hear you try to fart the Star Spangled Banner. Just try at least for the last 20 minutes. I really would. I don't like the manual. I never have.
I worry about people who got up a little bit later and missed our 90.
You know what?
It's
It's 2025. Go to Spotify. Go to the downloads. You can go listen. We spent the whole.
We did spend a lot of time on it.
I am so happy.
Correct.
I am really thankful that I'm going straight to my therapist after this. No kidding. It timed out that way. That's when my schedule. It's when I go every other week, Friday. But what a great day to go. Great day.
You also get Braden's thoughts, Chris's thoughts,
you got all day.
Thoughts, Frank's thoughts. I'm sure Tony will be back on Monday and get his thoughts as well. There will be no end to the thoughts on the end of the Padres season.
And I tweeted it last night. I want to reiterate it again for anybody that isn't on Twitter. You're so lucky, number one. But number two, huge shout out to the tier ones. Number one, tier ones were incredible. All been here every morning. And then, of course, all of the people that put so much work into covering this team every year. It's staggering and knocking it out of the park. The broadcast teams, AC, AJ, Dennis Lynn, Annie Halbrun, all these people, we love them. They're great. Not an easy team to cover. Always an exciting team to cover, certainly. But Jesse and Tony
will be in today, Adam says.
Oh, good.
As well. They are back. So
Scan,
Tony will be
Merrill
in today.
Yeah. Everybody who contributes to this team. And I do get that. I have a good sense of community with those people because we are all in it together. And, of course, have a good sense of community with the tier ones because we're definitely in it together every single morning. So I appreciate it very much. And I wish that it had gone better. I wish that it had gone better. That's what I'm going to. I was mad and it's the stages of grief. Yeah. Where does it start? Anger?
Ooh,
what's the order? Show me the anger.
There's anger.
I know what they are, but
there's bargaining.
Stages of
there's
grief.
Denial.
All right, it starts with denial first. I'm not denying it.
Depression.
No.
Okay.
They didn't lose.
Acceptance.
They didn't lose last night. They didn't lose.
Yeah, denial. That never happened.
You know what? The umpires, they're going to correct that call.
Yeah, and we're going to
play
on
the game from the ninth inning.
Guys, we need everybody back to Chicago right now.
Put everybody back. They were in denial.
That's denial.
This is not happening.
Okay, denial's over.
What's next?
Anger. Been there.
Got to fire the manager, fire the GM, trade all the players. They all suck.
All right, now
we're mad.
Then So probably next week, sometime the bargaining stage will come and go, if you look at the roster for next year, it doesn't look half bad.
I think that's the delusion stage.
Then when the Dodgers hoist the World Series championship, the depression kicks in. And then fantasy camp is when acceptance goes, I'm excited. I like these guys. Yeah.
New year, spring training, pitchers and catchers reports.
It's just everything.
I can get behind this again. Let's do this again.
You do it every year.
Ramon Laureano's back. He's going to be healthy this year, playing a whole season for the Padres. Going to hit 30 bombs. Tatis, he was coming out of it at the end of last season. He might have another 40 home run season in him.
Yep.
This might be the best team in the National League next year, Woods.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It happens every year, guys, and you're rolling your eyes right now, many of you, but you'll do it too. So a lot of people last night go, that's it. I'm out. You're not. You won't be. You can't stay away. It's a drug. We're addicted. We're always going to be addicted. You can't walk away. You just can't. You got to see it through. You have to see it through till the very bitter end.
I didn't spend the first 49 years of my life, 50 really. I'll be complete my 50th year in a month. I didn't spend the first 50 just to give up on in the next 30 or so on the San Diego Padres. I'm riding this out, win or lose, all the way until the end.
Just gritting our teeth and white knuckling it the whole way. Yeah, David said, I'm at the anger stage. I'm with you. Still very angry. But yeah, that's this game. It's just this game in a nutshell, man. It just kills you.
All right, I've got actually. Well, you know what? I'm going to give you a multiple choice option when we come back.
I was always pretty good at these.
We got multiple choice after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Staples. Lots of good news on the roads. Right now, the southbound side of the 163 cleared an accident near the 52, and West 52 accident cleared past Regents Road. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for detail. Ends November 1st. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
You don't want to rehash Padres, so that's not even one of the choices. No wrong answers here, but you've got 4 multiple choice options for the last 6 minutes of the show.
Paulie, I'm going to hate every one of these.
All right.
I'm going to hate
option
this.
number 1. Talk about Thursday night football game and the Rams blowing it in overtime against the 49ers.
Pass.
Okay, pass. Option number 2. We have a sexy Saturday stink fist I can give you right now with your college football lineup.
Pass.
Doesn't feel right.
Option number 3. We can talk about the other wild card games yesterday and look ahead to the division series matchups and schedule that's been set for tomorrow's game.
Maybe.
Option number 4. We can spin the topic wheel.
Spin the topic wheel. D.
While I load up the topic wheel, can I just bring up option number 5?
Oh, we got a 5th option. None of the above?
We had to change the show around today. We were all Padres. What was with San Diego State football's post yesterday?
Saw that.
They can't wait till Monday to really talk about it. It was the most bizarre thing. So
wait, hold on. What are we talking about?
The letter.
Okay, so there was 2.
I didn't get this.
They also have their new iconography that they have revealed, their new Aztec symbols, like of the gods that they're going to be. I didn't get that one, but the letter, like they did the old, hey, if you need to show your boss a letter to get off work for the Aztecs
when
game
your team's
on
in
Friday.
the playoffs and it's a 12 o'clock Tuesday start or something, you'll see teams will put out, hey, I got a permission slip. You send this to your boss. Hey, please excuse so-and-so. They've got a big game to watch today. It's you know that bit. You've seen it. The Aztecs did it for today. If anybody needs to get out of work or school,
7:30.
The game's at 7:30. You have time to go to work 8 hours, come home, change, go to Snapdragon, tailgate for 2 hours, and then go to the game. You don't need to get off of work to go to the Aztecs game tonight. I mean, unless you got the night shift somewhere on a Friday, but yeah, it's going like, who needs to get off work to go to a 7:30 p.m. college football game?
I mean,
I applaud them.
I applaud them for trying. I was just gonna say, I applaud them for trying.
That's an out west opener. It's a big game tonight.
It was like
but-
you just combined a couple of different bits. It didn't all work out too well. If the Aztecs played at noon today on national TV, a huge game or whatever, for some reason, like then it makes a little bit more sense. But
I mean, when I
it feels like that's what they did. Like, hey, we need an idea for Friday night.
On Friday, it feels like everyone leaves work at 3:00. That's when the traffic's the worst. You got 4.5 more hours before the game starts.
All right, I think we've done this one before organically.
I don't want to do it again.
Is soup something that you eat or something that you drink?
You eat soup.
You eat soup.
You eat soup.
Yeah, you do.
There's any good soup is going to have a lot of chunks in it.
Yeah.
I mean, if a bisque is pretty elite, which has no chunks.
I mean, because of the soups that I don't drink a lot of broth.
What's the best soup? What's the best soup?
I love chicken noodle.
Chicken noodle is elite.
Yeah, I love.
It's about the noodles
cheddar.
and the chicken. Okay, that's a little smoother, but you still have big pieces of broccoli.
Yeah, I love
if you're doing it right.
You're eating it.
Yeah.
You're not drinking. It's not. I don't make like a cup for me.
The only soup that you can really totally like mug broth, or like maybe a tomato soup. And you can dip but if you're not dipping a grilled cheese in your tomato soup, you're doing tomato soup wrong.
That's true.
So it's always an eat.
You eat soup.
It's an eat option.
I love soup.
It's usually too hot for soup.
It is. I love a chili. I love a stew. I like to
All
eat
it takes is a couple of clouds and like
if it
some
gets to
October,
71,
November.
I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna make some chili.
My son loves pho. He's always asking me in the
Pho.
summer, can we go to pho? It's like
it's 90 outside.
I don't want 142 degree soup right now. It's 94 degrees out.
It's true.
All right, let's see what we get here on the old topic wheel. All right, this is good. If you could go back 20 years, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh my God.
30-year-old Ben, 30-year-old Woods,
30,
15-year-old Paul.
Put that powder down, player. God. Yeah, get rid of
Just
those.
like the way it smelled.
Get rid of those cigarettes. Cut out all that crap. Take care of your body better. Go to the gym, once at least. Save some money. My God, save some money. You were perfect. I mean, what do you
No, you know what? You know what I'm going to say, and I would tell my 20 years ago self, don't change anything. You're going to really like how your life is turning out. You're going to do what you want to do with guys that you really like doing it with. But stop worrying so much about how it's going to turn out.
Yeah. Don't worry so much.
You know what? The universe will unfold.
Yes.
Just take it as it comes and appreciate everything, the good and the bad, the steps that it took you to get there. But just keep going on the path you're going because you're going to be really happy when you get there.
Yeah, I mine would be all person, like just clean it up, dude. Clean it up. All right, just clean it up. Just stop.
When you hear something about something called Bitcoin, don't
buy
laugh.
it. Don't laugh and buy it as much as you
don't roll your eyes and go, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." Just buy it. Trust me.
I would tell 15-year-old Paul in 2005, become a Boston sports fan. You're going to have 25 parades to watch.
25 championship. Move to Boston. Instead of coming here, go to Boston.
Yes.
Boston
Patriots, Red Sox, Celtics,
Bruins.
Oh, my God.
That's a good one, Paulie.
Seriously, I would tell myself to travel more. Didn't get to do it and didn't do it much in my 20s. I didn't study abroad. I feel like I like plenty of time to continue to start traveling.
Young.
But like
it's super fun when you're 50.
Yeah,
trying to travel.
I had a lot of friends that just had like amazing experiences in overseas or whatever.
Can't relate.
Yeah, didn't get to do that.
You should have traveled to Boston.
I should have.
That's where you should.
That's it. I'm moving in.
Paul, you should have gone to BU instead. SDSU.
All right. If you could live in any decade, which one would you
I
pick?
did this on the roundtable kind of last week.
Kind of, yeah. I think you have to qualify as an adult, right? I guess you could cater the question however you want. Like, what era would you want to be a kid in?
Man, I just said I got to clean it up, but I would have gone back to the 80s and on the Sunset Strip, dude.
I feel like
no question.
Pre-cell phones, pre-social media, but just modern.
Just hanging out with David Lee Roth and stuff. Yeah, that's what I would have done.
I just wasn't
running around watching Rat.
I've never been cool enough for the 80s.
I was. I would have had a blast, dude. Hey, I'm gonna go see Rat tonight. Me and Brett Michaels. I'm gonna have
all
the time of
all
my
the guys
life.
on the round table go, I'd really want to go back to like the 1760s and see the start of the
Braden wanted to go to the Wild West. I was like, are you joking?
So
You're
miserable.
hot,
So
drunk all
miserable.
day, riding horses everywhere. It'd be the worst. It'd be the worst. There's no conveniences at all.
Nothing.
I'm like, what do you eat?
Maximum 40 years you're going back.
Yeah.
Or life is miserable. I think
Yeah.
even the 70s was kind of shag carpeting. I hated shag carpeting.
Give me the 80s, baby.
It's itchy.
Give me
Remember
the
I would've
80s.
liked-
Did
just-
your parents have shag carpeting in the
I
70s?
don't remember.
I would have liked 5 to 10 years earlier. I think I was born in 90. If I was born in 80 and could be older for the 90s, I think.
Yeah, that'd be
I
good.
think
It was
the
good.
music should be on because I think our show is over. But
Thank God. Have a
we'll
great
be
weekend,
back Monday
everybody. We love you.
morning. Have some laughs. We'll look forward what's going to happen, obviously, with this Padres season. Maybe we'll have some big news. Braden will take you next 4 hours coming up. For Paulie, for Woods, I'm Ben. Have a great weekend. Great rest of your Friday from all of us here at 97.3.